Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is story about what if Naruto saves Minato and Kushina part 1. Before I start, please do support for more amazing content and comments for part 2. Do consider to subscribe my channel and share my video to your friends and check out the description as well. Let's start the video. Well? The sharp question came from a woman sitting behind a desk. This woman had long red hair that flowed past her elbows. She was wearing a light blue cloak that had the kanji of first at the back. Her face was currently hidden by the hat she was wearing as her head was bowed. There was a man standing beside her, his features currently hidden by the shadow cast by the banner above him. The banner was red and had a circle in the middle. In the circle was a swirl. The person she was addressing wore the standard ANBU attire, except that his was pure black. He was in a kneeling position as he phased through the floor, appearing before the woman. Upon hearing the question, he stiffened, feeling nervous. The woman took notice of this, and knew she would not like what she will be hearing next. "We found him, Yuzukage-sama. He looks exactly like you described and was indeed in Konoha. From what we have observed, he was not being treated well. We noticed how the villagers glared and cast contemptuous looks at him." The operative paused before continuing. "The first time we found him, he was being surrounded and beaten by a group of drunks. While there were many witnesses, nobody was helping him. My team had to pose as Konoha police to stop them and disperse the crowd. We managed to rescue him from several mob attacks afterwards, without the knowledge of the ninja present in the area. The boy is in a terrible state. He is thin and malnourished, hence why he also looked smaller than his age. He does not have a permanent place and sleeps in the darker corner of the streets and alleys, in order to hide himself from the villagers. Your children have stayed behind to fulfill their part of the mission, while I came back here to give you the intel you requested." The woman waved a hand, acknowledging the report. The operative rose and took off his headgear, revealing a face with a dark blue eye, the other covered by his red hair. This man was known as Kid Uzumaki. He was the head of Storm, an elite organization that only answered to the Uzukage. The woman sighed as she put down her hat, finally revealing a face similar looking to the operative in front of her. She was none other than Kushina Namikaze ne Uzumaki, first Uzukage of the rebuilt Uzushio-gakure. You did well. I will send a team back with you to fetch him. Right now, I want you to instruct all ANBU, Jounin and Chunin to meet me at the village's main stronghold at sundown. I want all members of Storm present as well." "Hi, Yuzukage-sama." The Storm captain bowed and put back his headgear on before disappearing. The person standing beside her bent down and captured the Yuzukage in an embrace, finally revealing his notable features: crystal blue eyes and messy blonde hair that reached his neck. He was Minato Namikaze, Yandame Kage of Konohagakure. Like the village hidden by whirling tides and its inhabitants, he was believed by the world dead. Scene change. A few nights ago, a young boy who looked no older than 4 was running for his life. His most notable features were his blue eyes, blonde hair, and 3 whisker marks on each cheek. He looked wild and starving. His hair was messed up, his clothes ragged and has blood stains on it. He was being chased by a huge mob he fled from after receiving a few hits. The boy suddenly screamed and fell as a kunai hit his leg. This gave the mob the opportunity to finally catch and corner the boy. They started to beat him, avoided hitting his head to keep him conscious, allowing them to torment the child even more. The boy was screaming in agony. The boy looked straight at a vacant spot opposite him. He looked straight into what seemed the eyes of the watcher and begged to be saved. He screamed while crying, "Mother! Father! Somebody! Please save me!" As the mob continued to pummel him. "No! Please stop!" Kushina woke up screaming. She checked the time and found it was past midnight. Kushina! The man sleeping beside her also awoke that very same moment. "What is it?" "Minato! They're going to murder him. They're torturing him. Oh Kami-sama, we need to save him." "Kushina, please calm down. Tell me what happened." After a few minutes of crying, the distressed redhead finally calmed down and told her husband about the dream she just had. She told him about the boy. She told him about the villagers. She then realized the boy looked somehow familiar. This isn't just an ordinary dream. This is probably some kind of warning or some kind of vision. It's probably happening at the moment, or has happened already. Minato absently patted down his hair, deep in thought. "Minato?" inquired the woman, feeling nervous. "Kushina, this may sound odd, but I had the same dream. Just exactly the same as what you have told me." They were silent for a few seconds until Kushina's eyes widened and she screamed, "Naruto! My baby boy's alive! And he is in danger! We must find him! Let me go!" She roared as she frantically tried to escape from her husband's strong arms as he tried to placate her. "Kushina, please calm down. I know what you are feeling right now. I am also his parent. I promise you we will do everything to rescue our son wherever he is. But if we're going to find our son, we need a clear head in order to plan properly. I'm with you, okay? We'll find our Naruto." It took a while before the distressed mother regained her composure. "Kushina, I'm going to check on the children. I believe I felt their chakra spike up. Something's going on." "All right. I'll meet you at my office. I'll go find Kid." 30 minutes later, Yuzuki's office. Mother? What happened? You've been crying. A younger version of Kushina inquired. Her name was Narumi Namikaze. She was the first child and eldest daughter of Minato and Kushina. She was 18 years old and a jounin. I'm fine now, Narumi. I had a bad dream. Narumi stared at her siblings with a questioning look. What kind of dream? What did you dream about? This time a younger male version of Kushina inquired. He was Minako Namikaze, second child and eldest son. He was 2 years younger than Narumi, and also a jounin captain of 3 chunin. Your father and I had a dream about a boy being beaten by a mob. We strongly believe it was Naruto. Another boy and a girl finished. These two were twins. They got their facial features from Minato. Although unlike her twin brother, Miho got her mother's red hair, while Mio had orange hair. The twins were both chunin. They were 6 years younger than their elder sister. We also had the same dream. All 4 of us. Mio and I were awoken when Narumi and Miho woke up screaming. We were discussing about it before father called us. Flashback 4 years ago. Unknown location. The IWA, Kiri, and Kumo allied forces will attack Uzushiogakyur in 3 days. I want you to blend in with them. Your task is to kidnap Kushina Namikaze's newborn son. She's due to give birth 2 days before the allied forces' scheduled attack. Take the infant during the commotion and bring it back here. Do whatever means you must. Failure is not an option. Understood. Uzushiogakyur 3 days later. Uzushio headquarters. Yuzukage-sama. All enemies are within the trap's range. It's time for our counterattack. Very well. Begin. Hi, father. Let me help. No, Kushina. You just gave birth. You still need rest. And you should be beside Naruto. Your son needs you. He'll be fine. He's with Miho and Mio. Rin's also with the kids. She's a strong kunoichi, I know. But still, your children need you, especially Naruto. Kushina, go to the shelter with your children. But, go! Worry not, victory will be ours. Yuzukage Estate. Rin-sensei. The twins shouted with concern. She's dead. And you brats are next? Maybe I should start with the youngest. A masked man entered the estate and started killing the household, including the twin sensei, Rin. No! We won't let you harm our baby brother. The twins moved in front of Naruto's crib to protect him from the masked assailant, but the intruder vanished and reappeared behind them and sent them crashing on the wall. Say goodbye to your brother. Forbidden art, dancing black flames. The masked man shouted as he tossed the infant into the air before incinerating it along with the crib. Nuh! The twins watched in horror as their infant sibling became nothing but ashes. The masked man then turned his attention to kill the remaining witnesses while they were frozen in shock and despair. As he neared the two, he felt a huge chakra signature coming and immediately fled the house. 10 seconds later, Kushina burst into the estate and found the dead bodies of her household. She felt a heavy sensation in her stomach as she rushed upstairs to where Naruto's room was. What she saw made her dizzy. Rin was lying on the floor. Dead. Tears ran down the eyes of her twins who kneeled on the corner, paralyzed with fear and despair. At the end of the room, the crib, where her youngest child slept peacefully only a night ago, was now a pile of ash. Naruto! Miho! Mio, mother! Naruto gone, incinerated, Miho said between choked sobs. Rin-sensei dead, masked man, he killed our baby brother, Mio whispered weakly as tears came down streaming his face. Kushina fell to her knees as she stared at the pile of ash. Tears began to flow as her body shook, racked by sobs. No, please, Kami, no. My little Naruchan no. Naruto, Uzushiogakyur 3 days later. Dead bodies can be seen everywhere along with debris from fallen buildings. The once strong and standing village were now in ruins. Small fires can still be seen around. The place stank of dead flesh and burnt wood. A small party of Konoha shinobi were inspecting the area, checking for survivors. Hayashi. Do you see anything? A man with long, spiky white hair asked. Nothing, Jiraiya-sama. They're all dead. I can't see a chakra signature. The only ones alive in this area are us, replied a man who had white eyes with bulging veins around them as he inspected the now ruined village. What a waste. They were our allies. Sarutobi. I told you they needed our help. If you ordered us to assist, then there might be survivors. A pale man with long raven hair shouted, his words prolonging into hisses as his anger rose. Shut up, team. If you wanted to help, then you should have gone without us. Yes, I really should have. But Sarutobi stopped me from going. I was restrained. And you wouldn't even care because you were too busy peeping on women. I would have chosen being branded as someone who disobeys orders rather than someone who abandons their comrades. I thought the Uzumaki clan were strong. But look at them all dead. The weaklings do not deserve saving. Scoffed a man with long black hair and red eyes. You fucking Uchihas think you're mighty and high. Admit it, Fugaku, you Uchihas are afraid of the Uzumaki clan. They are far stronger than yours. You fuckers hate them because you can't copy their jutsus with your fucking eyes. That's enough, Orochimaru. Everyone. We're going back to Konoha. An old man with a pipe said. Yes. I've had enough, Sensei Orochimaru spat the word with venom. I'm no longer affiliated with Konoha. I'm cutting my ties to it from now on. I'm ashamed of a village who abandons their allies. Orochimaru proclaimed as he untied his hatayite and tried to shove it onto his sensei's hands, who would not accept. I won't allow you to leave, Orochimaru. You are a great asset to Konoha. If you do leave, I will mark you as a missing nin. Sarutobi threatened as he refused to take his apprentice's hatayite. Fine then. Orochimaru replied as he took out a kunai and made a long gash on his forehead protector, signifying his disowning of his now former village. Orochimaru, you can't do this! Fugaku exclaimed. Oh. But I already did. Goodbye, you traitors. Orochimaru said as he morphed into a small white snake and went underground. He's gone. I can't see his chakra signature. Hayashi said. Sarutobi sighed. We should hurry back to the village. We have to inform the council of Orochimaru's defection. Jiraiya refused to leave and waited for his teammate to return, but after a few minutes he too just sighed and nodded to his sensei. And with that, the 4 remaining Konoha nin left. Lying, unknown to the Konoha nin, they were being watched. The clan they believed to be extinct were simply hiding underground, protected by strong seals that blocked all senses coming from the outside. The dead bodies that littered the village were in fact the corpses of the Kiri, Kumo, and Iwa shinobi. All dressed up with Yuzashio Hitayatesh, clothing, armor, and weapons. Their hairs were dyed red to make them look like the fallen Uzumaki. The ruined city was only an illusion. Only a few buildings were actually destroyed. There were less than 15 casualties, and those were the Uzumaki main branch household. The Uzumaki clan remained and still stood strong. A week before the assault on their village, they were tipped off by someone unknown. They were informed that a combined force of Iwa, Kumo, and Kiri were going to try and assault their village. Driven by fear and envy, they formed an alliance and shared one common goal. That goal was to stop Uzushiogekyu from growing stronger and becoming one of the 5 great nations. Thanks to the warning, they were able to prepare to defend the city and evacuate all villagers to the underground shelters. Despite their victory, the whole clan were mourned for the fallen. Especially the Uzukage's youngest grandchild, Naruto, believed incinerated by a masked assailant. The Uzukage's daughter, Kushina, was still distraught and mourning, but deep inside, she believed that her son was alive. She simply did not have any leads or clues on where to find her little Naruto. And due to the orders of the Uzukage, they were to remain hidden and to wait patiently. There will be a time for them to strike back and unleash their vengeance to those who were responsible of their village's supposed destruction and Naruto's death. For now, they were to make the world believe that the Uzumaki clan no longer existed and Uzushiogekyu were now in ruins. Flashback end. The family were silent for a few minutes until Keith spoke. All right. Sister, could you tell me about the dream? How did my nephew look like? What of his attackers? Seeing his wife about to cry again, Minato decided to fill in his brother-in-law about the dream. I think the place looked familiar. What do you think, Minato? Kushina asked. I believe the place was near Konoha's outer skirts. How he got there, I do not know, said Minato. Kushina was silent for some time, her head bowed. When she finally spoke, her demeanor changed. Her voice now carried power. All right, everyone, listen up. I'm giving you a mission. Kid, Narumi, Minako, Miho, and Mio. You are going to Kanohigaku no Sado. Kid, I want you to gather information about my youngest son. Find out why they have him. Find out why he was being mistreated. Find out why nobody looks out for him. Everything related about him. I want complete details. Narumi, Minako, Miho, Mio. Find your little brother. Keep him safe. Earn his trust. Tell him he's going to be alright. Tell him that we will rescue him from that stinking place. Do what you must. Once you find him, stay inside the Namake's estate. Nobody will know you are there. The house is protected by seals and will only respond to those with Uzumaki and Namake's blood. Kid, I would also like you to find Nono Uzumaki. I believe she goes by the name Nono Yakushi. She also has a son named Kabuto. Get in contact with them. She doesn't know Yuzushio still exists. Here are their pictures. When you return, we will discuss about what to do next. Present time, Kanohigaku. The boy from the dream was running for his life again. This was a daily routine for him. He will wake up early to scavenge for food while staying out of sight. During the afternoon, he would be found and a manhunt would commence. The villagers seemed to have some kind of tracking device on him. Every night he will be taken to the hospital to get his injuries treated, only for him to get hurt again the next day. Morning was the only safe time for him since the villagers were busy with their work while some were still asleep. He didn't know eyes always followed him. Eyes from the shadows. Anbu, the black operatives of the village, the ones who tip off the villagers of his location. Unknown to all, for outsiders were watching the whole scene. As the boy turned into a corner, the outsiders sprang into action and snatched him away. A hidden seal activated, and a clone of the boy appeared. The watching Anbu failed to notice this as the exchange happened at a blind spot. The mob were none the wiser and proceeded to pummel the clone. Namake's estate. Phew. That was close. Hey kid, are you alright? Asked the leader of the 4. Yes. whispered the scared and baffled boy. What happened? We were there, and now we're here. We saved you. We used Fuinjutsu that activated once we got you out of there. The seal produced a clone of you. We added a genjutsu to make the transition perfect. It's the clone who they think they'll be beating, replied one of the four. Who are you? Why did you save me? Did you really save me? Or are you four going to beat me just for yourselves? Asked the boy, fear once again gripping his heart. He yelped as he felt arms wrapped around him and started to cry. Please. I haven't done anything wrong. Why can't you see that? I'm not a monster. I'm just a human like you. The eldest of the four engulfed the boy into a hug as he started crying. Calm down. We're not going to hurt you. You're safe with us. Really? Asked the boy between sobs. Yeah. My name's Narumi. The boy nodded and instantly became cheerful. My name's Naruto. Uzumaki Namikaze Naruto. And I'm going to be one of the greatest ninja ever lived. Believe it. His rescuers smiled at him, glad that he was still cheerful despite what happened to him earlier and the days before he was rescued by them. Say, Naruto, why don't we go to the kitchen and we'll get you something to eat, I'm sure you're hungry? Asked Narumi while the boy nodded. His stomach growled when he heard the girl mention food. She then motioned the other three to prepare something to eat. Where are we, by the way? Curiosity once again filled Naruto. We're here inside the Yandame's home. Our father's home. This home is protected with seals. Nobody except us five know we are here inside. I'm the eldest. Minako, he's 2 years younger than me. Mio and Miho are twins. They're 4 years younger than Minako. Oh, said Naruto, feeling jealous and sad, as he didn't have anyone to call family. I wish I had a family too. I wonder if they're still alive. My Ka-san and my Tu-san. I wonder if I have siblings too. His four rescuers just stared at him with sad eyes. Say, Naruto, while you're eating, would you mind telling us your story? Asked Minako. Well, as you have seen, the villagers here hate me. Every day I have to run for my life to not get beaten, but they still catch me. I have no permanent place to stay at, so I hide in the village's darkest streets. When I was 3, I was kicked out of the orphanage. I never understood why. They called me a monster, an abomination, and I don't even know what that meant. They blamed me for killing a lot of people. They blamed me for killing the Yondaime and his wife. But how can I do those horrible things? That's just stupid. I think they're just giving themselves a reason to beat me and hate me. Besides, I don't even know what a Yondaime is. But you know, I heal fast. Maybe that's why they call me monster and love to beat me. Narumi nodded, urging him to continue. She understood about the fast healing since it's one of the abilities of the Uzumaki clan's Kekkai Genkai. Ever since I've been kicked out from the orphanage, I've been wandering the streets. I slept at random places in the village where it was dark so I can hide from the villagers. I got my food from dogs and in some occasions, from foxes. They were the only creatures that were friendly to me. I do not know why, but they nicked food from me so I could eat. There were also some snakes. At first I was afraid of them, but I started to like them when they saved me from a mob. The stray dogs, snakes, and foxes are my only family. Naruto, do you have any clues who your parents are? Asked Narumi. Naruto shook his head. My nurse told me my parents were dead. She figured that I was brought here from Yuzushiogakure. She told me that the place I came from was destroyed. She also came from there when she was younger before she had her son. Nono-chan and Kabuto and I were the only humans who had been good to me. They tried to adopt me but the villagers found out and asked for help from the bad clan heads. After that I never saw Nono-chan and Kabuto and I again. Although I did believe the snakes were from them. Anyway, I can remember how my parents looked like, although the memories when I was still a baby. Don't ask me how I remember it, I just do. My mom was beautiful. She had long red hair. My dad had yellow hair, and his eyes were crystal blue just like mine. The four stared at him feeling excited. He just described how their parents looked like. You know, I dreamed of them a few nights ago. I was getting beaten by a mob. And then I saw them. I knew they were my parents. I just knew it. So I tried calling to them. When I did, I woke up from my sleep. It was some kind of a beautiful nightmare since I was getting beaten by a mob even in my dream, but at least I got to see my parents. Naruto cheered at the last part. The siblings couldn't help but smile at Naruto's cheerfulness. They've also heard enough. The dream wasn't just a dream. It was a link for them to find each other. They've decided to tell them who Naruto really was, and who they really were. Naruto. Narumi interrupted. We haven't properly introduced ourselves yet. We had to confirm your identity first. But now we're sure. And the dream you mentioned was more than enough evidence. Huh? What do you mean? Asked a confused Naruto. Naruto, your parents are alive. You have a family. You have siblings. There are more than one person who loves you, Narumi said in a whisper. We thought you have been killed when Uzushio was attacked by Iwa, Kiri, and Kumo. The whole clan was so devastated upon finding out. We still had hopes you were alive. We just didn't know where to look at. Since we also had to lay low after the attack and made the whole world think Uzushiogaku no longer existed along with the Uzumaki clan. But a few nights ago, we four and our parents had the same dream just like what you told us, you were calling to them. They told us about it, and recognized this place, so were sent out to look for you. Naruto was silent. So Narumi continued, and so we came here and found you. Naruto, our parents are also your parents. We are your siblings. Silence filled the room after the revelation. Naruto was thinking hard. After all these years, he thought he had no one. He thought his family was dead. The dream he had was linked to his parents. That gave him hope. Now, his siblings have found him when his parents asked them to look for him. He has a family. A living family. Naruto slowly rose from his seat and then rushed to his siblings, tackling them into a hug. He was crying from both joy and sorrow, One-chan. Oni-san. The four went to embrace their little brother. They were finally united. They stayed embracing for about 5 minutes. Naruto was in Kasumi's arms as he cried himself to sleep. The news for him were too overwhelming. For the first time, he slept in peace, knowing he had someone who'll look out for him. When he wakes up, he won't have to worry about the mob trying to kill him, for he had a family who'll protect him. Narumi carried Naruto to the bedroom and stayed with him while he slept, his head on her lap while she caressed him. Sleep well, Otoro. Uncle Keed will be back soon. We're going home and our family will be whole again, whispered Miho as she kissed Naruto on the forehead. Back in Uzushiogaku, backstabbing traitors, cried Kushina as she read the files Keed gave her. She found out that it was the Sandaime Hokage who gave the orders not to help Uzushiogaku during the day of the attack. It was the Sandaime who made the proposal with Iwa, Kiri, and Kumo to destroy Uzushiogaku, giving them information on how to get inside the village. She also found out that the same man was the mastermind behind Naruto's kidnapping. The Namikaze family were made to believe that Naruto had been killed when the allied shinobi forces attacked their homeland. It was part of the plan to kidnap Naruto and destroy Uzushio. The report stated that it was Fugaku Uchiha who broke inside the Uzukage's house, killed the household including the Uzukage's daughter's apprentice, Rin Uzumaki, and cast a strong genjutsu to make the twins see their little brother incinerated in front of them, putting the twins into a trauma that haunted them for a year. Naruto was brought back to Konoha and was used to become the nine-tailed demon fox's jailer. The Yondaime was oblivious to the fact that it was his son he was condemning to a harsh life. The use of the Shiki Fujian cost him his life. The Yondaime's last wish was for the child was to be seen as a hero by the villagers, and not a demon. The Sandaime of course spat on his last wish. He was one of those responsible for the whole village's hate on the boy. It was him who spread the false rumor that it was the boy who killed the Yondaime and his wife, Kushina Uzumaki. Konoha intended for him to become a Jinchuriki, a weapon of the village. The worst part was, Naruto would be a mindless drone, having no free thoughts and only answered to the Hokage. The main conspirators along with the Sandaime Hokage were the village elders Danzo Shimura, Koharu Yudatane, and Hamiura Mitokado. They were the ones who kindled the fire that was already with the villagers when the Kyuubi attacked and killed their families. That made the whole village hate the boy and gave him a harsh life. It was the council's objective to have the boy beaten and tortured every day so that when the boy reaches the age of 5, they will pretend to be good on the boy to gain his trust and unknowingly play by their hands, following their orders and becoming loyal to the village, thus making him Konoha's ultimate weapon, a tool who was afraid of getting beaten so he follows his superior's orders. Along with the files were Naruto's medical history. They found out that Naruto had been hurt every day since he got kicked out from the orphanage at the age of 3. They would rough him up and then he'll be healed in the hospital only to get mauled again the following day. It was stated in the files that the Konoha Interrogation Division would try to erase Naruto's memories every time he was beaten. They didn't know that one of the nurses really cared for Naruto, and she found out that Naruto remembered everything that was done to him. The boy had a total of about 600 medical records. One of the files was about him getting thrown outside the window of a high-story building when he was 1 year old. Another one was him getting him stabbed and electrocuted multiple times, burning his insides. That was when he was 2 years old. Another incident happened during the Fox Festival, October 10, Naruto's 3rd birthday. He was raped by a gang of drunk villagers. The boy had been tortured and beaten physically and mentally by the villagers countless of times. Some of the incidents were not listed with Naruto's medical record. Kushina broke down crying as she read the files. She couldn't believe that Konoha did those horrible things to his baby boy. They did to a 4-year-old. An innocent child. Those monsters. Minato was shaking with rage as he too read the folder's contents. The village he once served betrayed him. The worst part was they defiled his youngest son. They treated him like a monster. They starved him, they tortured him, and they beat him every day. They were molding him to become the village's weapon. Minato hugged his crying wife. They had to be strong for their son. After all, they found him now. They were doing everything they can to rescue him and bring him back to where he actually belonged. To his homeland, Uzushiogaku. To where his true family lived. 3 hours later, inside the Yuzuki's conference room, the whole council was silent when Kushina finished telling them about the dream about her son, about the files they recovered, about what Konoha did to their son, and lastly, about Konoha's betrayal to Yuzushiogakure. Along the council with them were all Chunin ranking and up. Most of the council members shook in rage as they listened to their village leader's tale and saw the documents. They finally knew who the mastermind behind Yuzushio's supposed-to-be downfall was. They also knew now about what happened to the Yuzuki's youngest child. Needless to say, they were disgusted with Konoha. Most of the women in the council were crying as they read the report. Minutes of silence finally broke when someone whispered, but loud enough for all of them to hear, "Konoha will pay for their crimes." There was a low murmuring among the council, all of them agreeing. Konoha has stood for so long with their wrongdoings unpunished. When this news goes out, it will spread like wildfire. Soon, all of Yuzushio will demand blood. One of the village representatives said. Agreed. But we cannot go to war yet. We must plan this thoroughly. Yuzukage-sama's children are still in Konoha. We must decide first about who we are sending with Ki back and assist the rescue team that was sent. Said by one of the clan heads. I second the opinion. Said by another one. But who are we sending to retrieve them? Asked by one of the jonins. I'm going. Minato said. All eyes were on him now. I'm going inside the estate via Haration and then I'll bring the children back here. We can decide about Konoha's fate later once the children are safely returned here. But I'll be needing 5 squads with me. We're conducting a little raid. Minato coldly said the last part. All shinobi present at the meeting wanted to volunteer for the said task. They wished to bring honor to their homeland by avenging it, and the Yuzuki's youngest son. It took about 15 minutes for the council to make their decision, and members for the 5 teams were picked. First squad will go to the Namake's estate and take all of its belongings. Same goes with the second group going inside the Uzumaki estate. As soon as teams 1 and 2 arrive at their destination, they are to begin immediately sealing everything. The third squad will go to the Hokage Tower and take all Namake's and Uzumaki clans' jutsus, and that's ranging from D to Forbidden. The fourth group will provide the first wave of chaos while teams 1 to 3 do their work. The fourth squad will blow up the Hokage mountain. More specifically, my face. They think of me as their hero, yet they treat my son like some kind of monster. Those fucking hypocrites. Fourth squad will also destroy as many buildings near the Hokage mountain. Fifth squad will be coming opposite the direction of the mountain, also destroying as many buildings as possible. While we're there, make sure you're all covered up. We're not to use any Suidan jutsus to not blow our cover. We won't be wearing Yuzushio headbands. Once the first and second squads are done sealing everything, they are to blow up and destroy both Namake's and Uzumaki estates. Once done, they are to head out to trash the eastern and western part of the village respectively. Keed and I will blow up the market district and aid other teams via Haration. Once the third group are finished taking the jutsus, they are to blow up the Hokage tower. That signals the end of the raid. Well then, are all instructions clear? Asked Kushina. Hi. Yuzukage-sama, while we're going to raid Konoha for a bit, we'll bid more time and hasten strengthening our forces. We will gather some allies as well before we truly destroy Konoha. And if I remember correctly, Orochimaru is and still remains a friend of the Uzumaki. We also need to get in touch with him. That is all for today. The council look forward to Naruto-sama's retrieval. Very well. We will meet again once my baby's back in my arms. This meeting is adjourned. 2 days have passed since Naruto was found and rescued from his attackers. He had a great time spending with his siblings. He'd been told not to go outside for his own safety. His siblings transformed into normal civilians to buy him food and some clothing. During those 2 days, the Namake's siblings shared each other's stories. Naruto was told about his homeland. He was also given information about his heritage. Thirsty for more knowledge, he asked about their parents and their connection to Konoha. With proper care and rest, Naruto's wounds healed properly. His malnutrition was being treated now that he had access to vitamins and medicine. He had 3 full meals and was allowed to have snacks whenever he wanted to. Of course, being the children of Kushina and Minato, Naruto was introduced to what the family considered food of the gods, ramen. At the moment he had instant ramen, while promised to be treated to the real-deal ramen by the Ikarakus. He learned that the Ikarakus were originally from Konoha as well. Lying. It was 3 in the morning. The Namake siblings were all packed and were waiting for their uncle's return. There was a flash of yellow and soon Naruto found himself staring at a man who looked exactly like him, except that he was older and his hair was longer. With him was a man with red hair, who looked like Narumi. Accompanying them were 4 more people wearing long coats with hoods. They were also wearing masks with nothing but a blank design on it. All of them were dressed in black from head to toe. The blond man nodded to the 4 masked men and ordered them to move. The 4 scattered around the house and began sealing everything in it. Tusan? The young blonde asked, still gaping at the man. The man looked at the source of the voice. He found his youngest son staring at him, teary-eyed. The boy asked again, "Are you really my father?" The man smiled at the boy warmly. Soon he found himself kneeling as the boy tackled him and started to cry. "My son," he murmured, tears running from his yes. Their father and son moment were interrupted when buzzing noises were heard. Third squad in position. Waiting for orders. Fourth squad ready to blow things up, awaiting orders. Fifth squad ready for extra diversion, awaiting orders. Naruto, we will unite again later, okay? I'm bringing you to your mother. Minato didn't receive a response and realized the boy had fallen asleep on his arms. He stood up gently and asked Ki for Naruto's backpack. Alright everyone. Hold hands. I'm flashing us back to Yazushio. In a flash, Narumi, Minako, Mio, Miho, and Naruto along with Minato were gone back to their home. A few moments later, and there was again a flash. This time Minato was accompanied by a Kushina clone. He turned the radio on his cloak and ordered, "Let the fun begin." Minato, keyed, and the clone then proceeded to their target location. Outside the Namikaze estate, Konoha, the people of the village hidden in the leaves were enjoying their peaceful sleep, not knowing of the events that will happen in the next moments. Not knowing of their so-called peace being disrupted. Soon they were awoken by sounds of shrapnel and broken glass. The night skyline looked like burning daylight as buildings caught fire. The earth shook as the Yandami Hokage's face sculpture blew up, crushing nearby buildings in the process. In the opposite direction of the Hokage mountain, explosions were also everywhere. Structures collapsed, burned, and blew apart as they were hit by earth, fire, and destructive lightning jutsu. There was widespread chaos and panic. The citizens of Konoha were not expecting an attack during their time of peace. The strength of their village got over their heads and the people believed no one would dare oppose them. The village's security became lax. And now they were paying for it. The Konoha shinobi tried to calm the villagers as they escorted them to the village's safe bunkers. That took them almost a third of an hour. As soon as the villagers were safe and as the Konoha shinobi began preparations to fully retaliate, new explosions were heard on the village's eastern and western areas. The Konoha shinobi were losing their cool, clearly not expecting an attack from all sides of the village. It made them think a huge number of enemy shinobi were behind it. Hiruzen Sarutobi was busy reading an orange book. He was giggling like a little girl as he indulged himself to the story. His private time was interrupted when the ground shuddered and explosions awoke the whole village. He scrambled to hide his orange book under a floorboard that was under his bed and changed into his green battle armor. Summoning, Monkey King. A monkey also wearing an armor appeared out of smoke. Enma, I am in need of your assistance. Of course. Let's go. Everyone, calm down. I am with you. The Hokage shouted as he tried to rally the Konoha shinobi. Form into squads. Medic, tend to the wounded. All Jounin and Anbu captains head to the areas under attack with your squads. Chunins, you're to put out the fires while. His orders cut off as a great explosion caught everyone's attention. Hokage-sama. The market district is on fire. A panicking Chunin ran to him. Then put the fire out. Save the supplies. The Hokage was about to charge into one of the areas that was being attacked when he heard another great explosion. Hokage-sama. The Hokage mansion has been blown up. An ANB reported as he appeared beside his leader. The rest of you, follow me. The now angry Hokage roared. They stopped in their tracks when they heard magnified voices cover the whole village. Earth release, great tremor. The whole village shook as a great tremor destroyed many more buildings. The earthquake lasted for a good 3 minutes. When it was over, they heard the voices screaming another technique. Lightning release, thunder god's flash. From the 4 sides of the village, 4 thunder lines appeared and connected to the center. A small orb of light formed and grew steady until it was 2 dozen diameters big. The orb exploded and left everyone in the village a great ringing in the ears. A white flash was also produced, inducing temporary blindness. The effect would last for an estimated 5 minutes. The Inuzukas were affected the most due to their enhanced senses. The Hyugas, on the other hand, fell to the ground holding their heads while some convulsed in pain. Most of those who had their Byakugan activated felt the brunt of it. Meanwhile, most members of a certain clan were furious. Not because of the fact that they were under attack, it was the fact that the jutsu their unknown attackers used were widespread and powerful. With no vision of their enemy, there were no hands to look at. Without hands to look at, there were no jutsu to copy. It was a great loss for them, for more ANBU appeared coming from different directions and knelt to their leader, bearing the same report. Sir, the enemies just disappeared, sir. We couldn't find a trace of them. They seemed to have pulled out after the last explosion. The Sandaime Hokage just sighed but was still angry. Scatter. Put out the fires. But be on your guard. They might come back and try to take us again by surprise. I'm placing the village on a lockdown. No one's coming in or out the village. Anyone doing so will be treated as an enemy and will face heavy consequences. Hi, replied all of the shinobi around. I want a detailed report once this fuss is all over and dealt with. And with that, everyone went to their assignments. Sarutobi, I'm going back. Summon me again should the mysterious attackers return. Enma said as he ported back to his home. Yuzushiobikure, before the raid. Bring our baby back. Whispered Kushina as she kissed her husband. I'll be back in a flash. Replied Minato. Kushina and the others smirked at the man's joke. Minato was gone in a flash. He returned about 2 minutes later with Naruto asleep in his arms. My baby. exclaimed Kushina. What happened to him? Relax, Mom. He's just sleeping. That's what also happened when we revealed to him that we were his siblings. He cried himself to sleep. Narumi smiled, looking at her little brother. I'll take him. I'll bring him to his room. Kushina said as she took Naruto from Minato. I'm going back to Konoha now. I still have to thank them for their kindness to Naruto. Wait. I'm sending a clone with you. I can't let you have all the fun now, can I? Kushina said as she made a clone. I'll see you in half an hour. Minato kissed her wife and his son. I'll be with you later, Naruto. And with that, Minato disappeared again in a flash. Well done, you four. Kushina said as she turned to her children. And thank you for bringing Naruto back to us. You may rest now. We have a big day ahead. Kushina went to her son's new bedroom with Naruto still asleep in her arms. She gently put him down and kissed his forehead. Welcome home, Naruto. Starting from now, no harm will come to you. Ka-san's here to protect you. I won't let Konoha or anyone take you away from me ever again. She whispered as she sat beside him, watching over him. Naruto stirred from his sleep and opened his eyes. He saw a beautiful woman with red hair smiling gently at him. He murmured, Ka-chan, and sighed contentedly and went back to sleep. Yuzashio Storm's POV. The first and second squads immediately started sealing off everything inside the estates while the third went to the Hokage Tower and waited. As soon as they heard an explosion, they wasted no time breaking inside the vaults, taking every scroll written by the Yondaime and the Uzumaki clan. The fourth squad quickly went to work and rigged the Yondaime Hokage's face with explosives. When they were done, they made a distance before blowing it up. Detonate! The whole village shook as the mountain exploded and damaged nearby buildings. The fourth squad went to work and demolished the buildings near their area. Using a combination of Katan, Raitan, and Doton jutsus, the buildings turned into rubble. Empowered by their clan's Kekkei Genkai, normal jutsus were several times stronger and easier to cast. The fifth group followed suit, equipping the gates and walls with explosives before making a great distance while they waited for the signal. Once the mountain exploded, they also created a distance and detonated the gates. After that, they immediately set to demolishing the other buildings. After taking the Yondaime and Uzumaki clan scrolls, the third squad raided the shops, taking everything and setting the now empty shops on fire. After making sure the fire was spreading, they took off to a different section of the village to cause more havoc. The raiders encountered only small resistance, and were able to dispatch the Konoha shinobi easily, as they were all caught off guard. Minato's POV. I'll do my stuff. Do not wait for me. I'll just dispel myself when I'm done. The Kushina clone told her husband. Minato along with Kid went to the market district and sealed off all the valuable and usable items in there before setting the place on fire. The merchants who woke up early to open their shops were knocked out, stripped off their expensive clothes and were left only wearing their undergarments. We're done here, Minato remarked. I just remembered about the Uzumaki temple. We should raid it and recover the masks. They have the same properties like the ones from Yuzashio. There are 21 masks that can only be worn by those from the Uzumaki clan since using it required a lot of chakra. The masks have a connection to the Shinigami and when worn, it summons the entity who in turn grants the user to bring back a person to life. It can only be done once every 5 years. They are the same masks we used to resurrect you. Thankfully Konoha doesn't know what the masks do. Kid said. So if there are 2 sets, we could resurrect 2 people every 5 years? Asked Minato. No. Kid shook his head. If one of the 2 sets are used, the other also goes into cooldown. I see. Let us go retrieve them then. Kushina's POV. With the chaos going on, the clone was able to slip inside the hospital easily and found the person she was looking for. Nono worked at the hospital as a healer and had her own team. When the higher-ups learned of her intention of adopting Naruto, they got her son, Kabuto. They held him hostage and threatened to kill him should she adopt the Jinchuriki. She was then forced to work at the hospital on a night shift when not on missions as an ANBU. Her shift was almost finished when the attack happened. Her instincts told her to wait inside as someone will come for her. Soon, a red-haired woman came in bursting the nurse's room. She was shocked to see her cousin Kushina alive, but remembered her conversation with Kid a few days ago. She got over her shock and allowed herself to get dragged outside the hospital. Where's your son? We need to get to Kabuto. Kushina asked as they got past the hospital's gates. Hopefully he's inside our house. We're currently staying near the walls, replied Nono, now taking lead. Kushina cursed. Let's hope your house still stands. Let us hurry. Jumping from roof to roof, they arrived at their destination without hindrances. Ka-san! Thank Kami you're alive! A boy with round glasses exclaimed, seeing his mother enter their home. She was followed by a red-haired woman. I am fine, son. Kabuto, meet your aunt, Kushina Namikaze. Hello, Kabuto. Nodded Kushina. No, I thank you both for helping my son despite Konoha's efforts to keep you away. We're family. We're supposed to help each other. I must say, I didn't know he was your son. Although I knew he was also an Uzumaki. Still, thank you. Now, I'm sure my brother has told you about Yuzashio. Yes. I was very happy when I found out. Even for a second, I didn't doubt Kid. How is my sister doing? Nami is doing fine. She's running a bookstore back home. That's great. I wish I can see her again soon. You will, cousin? But not yet. There's something I wish for you two to do. Nono tried not to frown, realizing that her cousin was addressing them as the Yuzukage. What is it? Yuzushiogakure needs you two to spy for us. Can you do that? Of course. You can count on us. Thank you. I shall take my leave. I still got to pay the council elders a visit, Kushina said as she got up. As she opened the door, she remembered something. Oh. And Nono? Yes? Seal up water that should last for, say, 3 months. In 30 minutes, clean water will not be available for the village. I apologize in advance for the inconvenience it will cause you. Lying. During the confusion, Kushina was able to slip inside the homes of Danzo, Koharu, and Hamira. With the chaos going on, the houses were empty. Danzo was no doubt underground barking orders to his private army, while the other two were hiding at the village bunkers. Kushina went undisturbed as she drugged every single stock of food and drink in the 3 houses. The poison would put them into a coma for 5 years. Upon waking up, they will later learn that no matter what they do, they won't be able to fall asleep anymore. Should they take forced sleeping jutsus or sleeping pills, they will only get a major headache. Only a certain sannin could heal them and remove the poison's effects. It was unfortunate that that person was far away from Konoha. Kushina then went to the Hokage's house and raided his bedroom. She found nothing of importance but saw a pile of orange books and set them on fire. Finally, Kushina headed to the village's water supply station and took out some special scrolls. She threw one inside each tank, and from it, several gallons of purgatives came out. The special scrolls would eventually vanish after a few hours. Some would think it was a stupid childish prank, but it was a serious act of sabotage. Her job done, she dispelled herself. The real Kushina was humming to her youngest when she received the clone's memories. She could not help but laugh maniacally. Thankfully, Naruto remained asleep. Her 4 older children who were still awake heard her mad cackling, getting chills down their spine. Somehow, they knew that Konoha was not just raided. Minato, keyed, and Storm's POV. Sir. The Hokage mansion will explode in about 2 minutes. One of the teams reported. Minato nodded. Squads 1 to 4, move to your positions. Hi, sir, we are in position. Good. Minato looked at the building he once considered his house when he was still a leader of the village he was now raiding. Wait for the explosion now. Earth release. Great tremor. 3 minutes later, they called another jutsu. Lightning release. Thunder God's flash. While the leaf shinobi suffered from the temporary blindness, the Yuzunin rushed to their rendezvous point somewhere in the forest. Ordering everyone to link arms, Minato flashed them back to Whirlpool. Yuzushio-gakure. The shinobi forces of Yuzushio awaited the return of the raiders. When they saw a yellow flash, all of them cheered and congratulated everyone for the successful operation. The teams then went to deposit everything they looted. The weapons and armors were brought to the research facilities to be melted and used later. The other various items were also brought to their centers. Only the clothing remained to be donated to the hospitals and the orphanage. Later that morning, Naruto woke up feeling like Christmas arrived early. He remembered seeing his parents the night before. Good morning, Naruto. Naruto was alerted to such a melodious voice. He rose into a sitting position and focused on the beautiful red-haired woman smiling warmly at him. His heart beating fast, Naruto asked tentatively. Ka-san? The woman nodded, her smile widening. The boy jumped up and tackled her into a hug, all the while screaming, Mother. Mother and son hugged each other contentedly for several minutes before their moment was interrupted. Kushina giggled upon hearing her child's grouchy stomach. Come now, Naruto-kun, let's get you breakfast. Good morning, Naruto, how was your sleep? A voice asked. Naruto looked up and squealed, seeing it was his father, Tu-san. It was great. It's the best I've ever had, Databeo. Minato was a bit horrified while Kushina smirked. He really was their son. He's so cute saying that. Although I hope he grows out of it. Kushina thought. Ka-san. Did you hear that? A new voice asked between sniggers. I heard it, Databane. Replied the woman, eliciting more laughter. Who knew Naruto would inherit it from you? Asked Narumi as she appeared by the doorway. Her question was answered by Naruto's growling stomach. The whole family gathered at the table and began to eat. During the meal they of course conversed. Now, Naruto, what would you like to do? Where would you like to go? Kushina asked her son after eating. I really don't know where to. I just want to spend more time with you all. Naruto smiled. Back at Konoha, Hiruzen Sarutobi sighed as he looked over the village. His ever-present pipe in his mouth, puffing smoke. He remained facing the glass window when he heard the arrival of an ANBU. He set up temporary office at the unused Senju mansion. ANBU captain from Alpha Squad reporting in. As of this moment, the damaged infrastructures are the Yondaime Hokage's face sculpture, the main gates, the whole market district, Namikaze and Uzumaki estates, the Hokage Tower, and several hundred homes, with numbers still rising. As for the items, we lost everything from the shops. Upon investigation, we also found the Namikaze and Uzumaki estates emptied before they were blown up. At the Hokage Tower, we found the vaults unharmed save 2. The vaults owned by the Namikaze and the Uzumaki were found open and empty. Upon further inspection, we found remains of explosive tags that blew the whole tower. Sir, the Hokage sensed the arrival of another ANBU and beckoned him to speak. ANBU captain from Gamma Squad reporting in. The determined time when the raid started is 5 minutes past 3 o'clock in the morning. The attackers are yet to be known, as their clothing had nothing to indicate which village they were from. All wore plain black shinobi clothing from head to toe. Their numbers are estimated to have been at 300. The raid lasted for 25 minutes, concluding at 3:30 o'clock. Sir, a third ANBU appeared, also bearing news. ANBU captain from Beta Squad reporting in. We now have the fires under control. Including the Namikaze estate, Uzumaki estate, and the Hokage Tao, we have 309 buildings in ruin. The number of injured personnel and villagers combined reached 1,000 less 22. There were no confirmed injured or fatalities on the enemy side. Surprisingly but thankfully, we also have 0 casualties. The enemy focused on destroying buildings and mainly on that. Our forces didn't have the chance to battle them and figure their battle strengths and capabilities. The ones who tried have been found knocked out. It was surprising they weren't killed. Sir, the ANBU captain finished. The old leader closed his eyes and sighed. Very well. Dismissed. Hiruzen prepared himself as he exited his temporary office to face his old teammates, the clan heads, and the civilian council. There really wasn't a civilian council per se, and they obviously had no power over him. They were consisted of the wealthiest merchants and landlords who brought huge income to the village. The Hokage simply did not bother to correct their assumptions and allowed them to some meetings that were not important, which were few. All they did was complain and request for favors. After repeating what the ANBU told him, the Hokage waited in resignation as he watched their faces. No doubt, they were going to explode as soon as his words sunk in. He really hated their whining, especially the Uchiha, the Hyuga, and the civilians. It is very clear, began Danzo Shimura, that Iwagakure is behind this. They hate the Yondaime for what he did. It would seem that they were still hell-bent on avenging the army Minato destroyed using his Hiraishin. With him dead, they figured it was time for them to strike back and restore their strong image. But we will not let them go unpunished. We must go to war. His statement caused a few murmurs of agreement. Now, we must not rush into conclusions. Hiruzen immediately responded before more of them could voice their agreement. It could be Kumo, suggested Hayashi Hyuga. You know them. They wanted our bloodline. They must be exacting their vengeance on us. Just because they tried to kidnap your daughter before that doesn't mean they were the ones responsible for this. IWA is responsible, countered Danzo. I agree with Danzo. But not with the IWA being responsible part, Sarutobi stated. The Yondaime Reikage holds a strong and high amount of respect to our Yondaime. I strongly doubt he would stoop so low just to destroy his monument and rob his prized jutsus. But what about that last technique they did? The Thunder God's Flash? Don't forget the Earth technique that lasted 3 minutes. They must be skilled in Earth style to do that. IWA is also a suspect. It could have been both IWA and Kumo. Inoichi Yamanaka proposed. There was another murmur of agreement. This could be the work of a smaller village. Why, you ask? They want the world to recognize them by attacking us, one of the great nations. And by taking some of our scrolls, they will add it to their own arsenal to use it against us. Shibi Aburame added his input. What a drag, thought Shikaku Nara as he looked at everyone. Only Choza Akimichi seemed uncaring as he munched on his barbecue. Fugaku could only huff in annoyance. It was his clan's duty to guard the village. The Uchiha clan, after all, was the police force of Konoha. His clan's pride took a great wound for having been successfully caught off guard. The village was attacked right under his nose. It happened to be his shift that night. Any more ideas? The Sandaime inquired. The enemy did a great job, if I may say. They were able to mask their appearances well. Even our Byakugan cannot see through them. Hayashi paused before adding, no doubt by some kind of seal. I agree. Tsum nodded. Even our noses with the help of our partners cannot find the trail of their scent. They just vanished. We were able to track them to the forests outside the village, but their trail simply vanished. The frustration was clear in her voice. We must figure this out soon. If they were able to do us this great damage in 25 minutes, imagine if they launched a full-scale attack. Choza finally spoke, having finished his snack. We still have no idea if this was the work of a big village. It could have been an upstart group forming into a small village. It could be possible that this was a full-scale attack. No, countered Shikaku. There were no casualties. This was only a raid. And this worries me. Great village or not, these unknown enemies are fully capable. In half an hour they were able to demolish several hundred buildings and take a lot of valuable items, including some treasures from the Hokage office. Once they were done, they were able to leave without any kind of traces. Everyone went silent, nodding to his words. The Nara continued, I've come to the conclusion that the raid's purpose was to send a message. But what is that message exactly? He asked rhetorically. It is obviously related to the Yondaime. What annoys me is that I cannot figure it out. We could also consider Kumo and IWA as suspects. But we cannot be sure. They could be rogue shinobi. Based on their last two attacks, only those who have natural affinities on earth and lightning could have done that. We will consider that. Thank you, Shikaku. We will also try to decipher this message. The Hokage nodded as he prepared to stand up. Hokage-sama. What about our destroyed and looted shops? We will need help for recovery. One member of the self-appointed civilian council butted, much to the annoyance of the shinobi present. Indeed. In my case, I only had one shop and that was my only means of earning money. Said another. He was nearly into tears. Several of my apartments were destroyed. I will be needing help as well. Another one said. Worry not about your businesses. We will provide assistance for repairs and lost valuables. Placated the Hokage. We can figure things out, and especially that message the enemy were trying to convey. We will focus on our village's repairs and increase of defense. Sarutobi concluded. Everyone nodded and left for their homes or what was left of them. You have failed your duty. Koharu reminded Fugaku, who was one of the last persons to leave. Do not fail next time. Added Hamura. Fugaku seethed. They were insulting his clan. Now. My friends, let us not blame the Uchiha police. All of us were at fault. We became too arrogant and proud, believing nobody would dare attack us. We were caught off guard. The Hokage said in a patronizing manner, angering the Uchiha further. Dismissed. Back in Yuzushiogakure, word about Naruto's return traveled fast. After the meeting, the story of his life in Konoha spread like wildfire. Naturally, everyone felt sorry for him and wanted to deliver bodily harm to every single person that was affiliated with Konoha. Of course, they were also happy upon finding him alive and now back to the village. The village put it upon themselves to throw a grand celebration for the youngest Uzumaki heir's return. The people of Yuzushio were eager to show Naruto that they were different from Konoha. He will be welcomed as a hero for being the Kyubi no Yoko's jailer, treated with respect and as a normal person. Not because he was the son of the Uzukage, but because he was also a human being like them. The Uzumaki Namake's family spent their morning walking around the village. Everyone they passed by waved or bowed to them, to which they gladly returned. Some of the people were pointing and whispering at Naruto excitedly. The boy felt nervous at first, thinking that they were hostile towards him. Eventually he realized they were not, and were smiling at him, greeted him like they did to his family. Some girls they passed by pointed at him and began squealing on how cute he was. Naruto's eyes widened in confusion, something the young females found even more adorable. His siblings of course noticed this, and took note of it for later teasing. Heh. Just like his old man. Minato thought with a smug grin. He'll be a chick magnet when he gets older. If he's already making girls swoon at this age, I wonder when he grows up and starts to develop his body from training. I'm so proud. Humph. I need to watch out for my Naruto-kun even more. In no time girls will soon flock at my baby. And then soon they'll have kids. And then they're going to take my baby from me. No. Kushina shook her head. Naruto then asked if they could go to the bookstore. His family, initially surprised with the request, complied. He bounced excitedly as they entered the shop. Before he got kicked out from the orphanage, Nono used to read him books before he slept. Unlike most kids, he liked hearing real stories of the past, and were not interested in children's bedtime stories. At a young age he has taken a liking to history. When he got kicked out, he no longer had access to the books he liked to read. The librarian refused to allow him entry whenever he paid a visit to the Konoha library. Now that he's in Yuzushio, he can read whatever he liked. Good morning. How may I help you? The store manager greeted, keeping her eye on the giddy boy who entered her shop. Naruto returned a shy greeting before running off to pick the books he wanted to read. Yuzukage-sama. How may I help you? The now astonished woman asked as she and her family followed after the boy. She knew that the Yuzukage didn't like reading that much, so it was a surprise to her. Hello? My son requested that we visit your bookstore. Can you help him pick out some reading material? Preferably history, as he's into the topic. Son? The clerk thought for a moment before a memory clicked. Naruto-sama. Of course, ma'am. Please have a seat while waiting. Also feel free to check out our books. Our new stock might interest you. The lady said before walking off to assist Naruto. Naruto was currently dragging a basket filled with books entitled, The History of the World, From Man to Shinobi, The Birth of Nishu, Hagoromo Otsutsuki, Rikudo Senin, The Five Great Nations, The Great Shinobi War, The Second Shinobi War, and the Third Shinobi War. He was currently staring at a shelf with some weird writings. He was fascinated by the intricate markings in it. Ah, Fuinjutsu. The clerk said as she stood beside him. Please let me carry the basket for you, Naruto-sama. Naruto could only stare at the woman, unused to people being kind to him. Neither to being called with respect. He was more familiar with the term demon brat than Naruto-sama. Reluctantly he gave the basket to the woman for him to carry. I apologize. I haven't introduced myself yet. My name is Nami. The woman smiled. That, Naruto-sama, is the shelf for Fuinjutsu books. We Uzumakis are feared of our Fuinjutsu. We excelled at it. I'm sure you will become a seal master in no time once you started learning it. Would you like to have them? Yes, please. I'll have the introduction to Fuinjutsu, basics of Fuinjutsu, beginners please. Thank you, such a polite boy. She smiled as she reached for the mentioned books. Naruto was too small to reach the higher shelves. Is there else anything you'd like, Naruto-sama? These will do. Thank you. Naruto replied as they walked to the counter to pay for the books. Yuzukage-sama. Your son is an interesting one. He is into informative books at his young age. He's also interested in Fuinjutsu. Your total cost for the other books would be 8,400 yen. As a welcome present, the Fuinjutsu books are free of charge. Nami grinned. Naruto widened his eyes. Back in Konoha, everything cost more than 10,000 yen. They always sold him overpriced products. He remembered that one time he bought a bottle of water and was charged 13,000 yen. Hey, are you sure, miss? I can have the other books for free? Wouldn't you lose your business? The boy asked timidly. Nami smiled kindly at him, telling him that it won't lose her business. Consider those books as gifts, Naruto-sama. Welcome back to Yuzushiogakure. To everyone's surprise, Naruto tackled her into a hug. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You're so kind. The boy blabbed rapidly, trying not to cry. You're always welcome here in my shop. You can have any book you like with discounts. The boy was still expressing his gratitude after his mother paid for his purchases, stopping only when he heard a growling sound caused by his stomach. As promised by his siblings, they introduced Naruto to Ichiraku's ramen. Kushina was excited for her son to try it. After all, it was her favorite food and to her there was no other greater than it. 6 months after the supposed destruction of Yuzushiogakure and extinction of the Uzumaki clan, the Ikarakus tried to live their life normally without their frequent customers. The death of Kushina and her children hit them hard. They mourned for the loss of a great clan. After their death, the Ikarakus eventually saw Konoha's dark nature, and were sickened by it. One evening as they were closing shop, a man asked them if they wanted to leave Konoha, offering a better place. They were promised a better life and a bigger restaurant to start with if they left, and moved to the man's country, as per his leader's request. Naturally, Tucci and Ayam wondered who the man's leader was and his country of origin. However, the man would not tell as it was a secret, and will only be revealed when they agree to his terms. Having enough of Konoha, Tucci agreed. The father and daughter were overjoyed upon learning of Yuzushiogakyo's status. As promised, they were given land enough for them to build a decent house and a huge restaurant. To show their gratitude, the members of the Uzumaki Namake's family were given discounts every time they visited. Hey, old man! Kushina greeted as she entered the restaurant followed by her family. Yuzukage-sama! Tucci bowed in turn as the newcomers occupied a table. Aw, come on! Don't call me that. I'm your number one customer. Let's get rid of the pleasantries, you know? You're like family to me. Sure thing, Kushina-san. What would you like to eat? Tucci asked as he approached their table and gave them the menu. For starters, we'll have 5 bowls of Kushina special for each of us. And an even bigger bowl for my baby boy here. Kushina grinned, patting her youngest son. Tucci wondered as his eyes landed at the boy. Blue eyes, yellow hair, mini version of Minato Naruto? It's you! You're back. Welcome back. I'm Tucci Ichiraku. Tucci beamed as he excitedly shook Naruto's hand. A girl came out from the kitchen having heard her father shouting, Ayam-chan, come here and meet our number one customer's youngest son, Naruto. Her father called. Hello, Naruto-kun, it's good to finally meet you. I've been thinking about you a lot lately. I'm Ayam. Ayam said, hugging the boy as she was too excited and thought Naruto was cute. Said boy blushed at the girl's action. He wasn't used to being talked to nicely by people and didn't know what to say. More so, he was used to receiving bodily harm. Warm hugs were a new thing for him. What would you like tea to eat? Ayam stammered, face flushed. She just hugged him. Tucci and the Naruto's family noticed this, of course, and laughed at the two's expense. They already placed their orders. Here, they'll have 2 bowls of Kushina special each and an even bigger bowl for Naruto-kun here. Hi. I'll be back at the kitchen. Ayam hurriedly walked away, still blushing madly. Tucci-san, prepare some food for you and Ayam-chan as well. You're joining us to lunch. Kushina said. Hi. I'll prepare the food. Please enjoy the television while waiting. Thank you, Tucci said as he retreated to the kitchen. Naruto-kun's got a crush on Ayam-chan. Miho and Mio chanted. Say, Otoro, do you think she's pretty? Minako teased. Well, yeah? Naruto mumbled. What? You think she's pretty? Narumi repeated the question while stifling her giggle. What? No. Her brother quickly denied. So she's ugly? No. She's very pretty. And I think she's cute when her face got red. I mean, wait, what? Got you? Narumi and the others were now laughing as Naruto's face reddened in embarrassment. The young girl was listening to the conversation outside. He thinks I'm very pretty? And he also called me cute? Oh my! Ayam thought before fainting. Her father noticed and caught her before she hit the ground. My oh my! My daughter has a crush on the Yuzukage's youngest son. I was starting to think my Ayam-chan was a tomboy. Tucci thought, chuckling as he propped her daughter on the couch and went back to preparing their lunch. A few minutes later, Ayam regained consciousness. Ugh. What happened? You sort of fainted. His father snickered. Come on now, let's serve them their orders. Try not to faint again, okay? Ayam scoffed. My daughter's finally growing up. Ayam-chan's found her soulmate. Tucci wiped a fakir. Tu-san. Ayam yelled indignantly. Your orders are here. Tucci proclaimed as he and his daughter placed the food on their customer's table. And here's a very special bowl for our newest customer. The Namikaze family and the two Ikarakas ate their lunch and shared stories. Naruto had stars on his eyes as he ate his ramen. He took his time savoring the flavor and felt each string of the noodle. He instantly fell in love with Ichiraka's ramen. Several bowls later, Naruto felt sleepy from eating too much. That was awesome. Thank you for the food, Naruto said as he tried to stifle a yawn. He's also cute when he's yawning. He looks so innocent. Ayam thought. Naruto caught her staring and stared back, then showed her his best smile that will make all ladies swoon. Ayam was startled when Naruto stared back at her and suddenly grinned. Her face turned redder than a tomato, and then fainted. Everyone noticed the interaction between the two and tried their best not to laugh as Ayam's head dipped on the bowl of ramen. Scene break. Naruto woke up and found himself back in his room. Naruto, you're awake. Come on, let's have some snacks. After that we're going out to buy you new clothes. Tomorrow we will be introducing you to the whole village. Narumi dragged him off the bed. Yo. Ototo, have you prepared your speech yet? Minako asked seeing Naruto come down. Speech? Yeah. You'll be introduced to the village tomorrow. You need to make your speech. The twins confirmed. Okay. Narumi Nechan, can you help me with the speech? Naruto asked his elder sister, still not picking up with the joke. Narumi went into a thinking pose before replying. How about no? Naruto pouted. His eyes seemed to magnify and went teary. Oh well, Naruto-kun, we were just joking, Narumi said as she hugged her little brother. The people of Yuzushiogaku started their day early and went decorating for today's event and tomorrow. They have been told there will be a double celebration as today was October the 10th, Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze's birthday, and yesterday was the day he returned to Yuzushio. They didn't throw a celebration yet since the Yuzukage family wished to enjoy their day with their lost and now found family member first. Everywhere in the village had been decorated for celebration. Flags with the number 5 on it with a cake background can be seen throughout the village, signifying Naruto's 5th birthday. While the whole village were preparing, the birthday boy was still asleep in his room. Ayam-chan. This is so good. Naruto mumbled in his sleep. His parents and his siblings walked into his room carrying a cake, a bowl of ramen, party poppers, and banners and was about to wake him when they heard him mumbling. Naturally, they were horrified when they heard the 5-year-old boy mumbling something good about a girl. That was good. I'd like a second round, Ayam-chan, Naruto said as he continued to talk in his sleep. What the? Kami, no. What happened to my innocent baby boy? Jiraiya. I'm going to kill you, Kushina thought. Minato were having mixed emotions. He wasn't sure if he should laugh or be angry. Naruto's siblings, however, were trying hard not to laugh while their mother looked horrified. Ayam-chan. Ichiraka's ramen is the best. This is indeed the food of the gods. I will always eat here. Can I have a third bowl? Naruto asked in his sleep. His siblings and his father burst laughing while Kushina looked relieved. Soon she joined laughing while Naruto enjoyed having ramen in his dreams. Ramen. Naruto mumbled as the smell of ramen that was being held by his mother reached his nostrils. Naruto-kun. His mother called. Naruto-kun, more ramen, wake up. It's your birthday. Your birthday? Happy birthday to you. Naruto sang, still asleep. No, it's your birthday. Kushina giggled. Happy birthday to me. Kushina laughed. Naruto-kun. Wake up. Finally, Naruto woke up. Kaa-chan. Tu-san. Narumi Nechan. Minako Nizan. Miho Nechan. Mio Nizan. Good morning, Naruto-kun, they all replied. Happy birthday, my birthday? Naruto asked, smiling. His eyes widened as realization hit him. It was his birthday. It was his birthday. Bad memories came flooding back as he shook his head and started to panic. No. Please don't hurt me. Please leave me alone. I haven't done anything wrong. I'm not a demon. Go away. Naruto cried as he tried to hide himself in a corner cowering in fear. His family stopped dead in their tracks as they watched him. Oh my God! What have they done to my baby? Kushina whispered. As a mother, the pain she felt was doubled. Watching her son cowering in fear during his birthday when he was supposed to be happy broke her heart. Naruto-kun? His siblings asked with concern. Narumi and Miho also started to cry for their little brother. Minato's mind was racing. His blood boiled. What have they done to my son? The village that I laid my life for did this. I'm going to kill them. I'm going to kill them. Konoha. You're going to burn. Unconsciously, he was releasing a huge amount of killing intent that made his son cry even more. Please don't hurt me. Naruto pleaded as he felt a huge amount of killing intent. His mind brought him back to Konoha and started to see a huge mob trying to kill him. "Two-san, please calm down. You're scaring Naruto-kun even more," Minako said as he tried to calm his father. His father was shaking with rage. Minako and Mio also seethed but managed to calm themselves. The mother was the first to recover, although she still felt heartbroken seeing her son like that. "Naruto-kun, please don't cry. We're not going to hurt you." Kushina tried to comfort her son as she slowly approached him. "Kaka-chan? Is that you?" Naruto asked as he felt someone approach him. "Yes, Naruto-kun. It's Ka-chan," Kushina said as she took her son into her arms, hugging him tight. "Ka-chan, they are going to kill me. They are going to kill me. Ka-chan, I swear, I haven't done anything wrong. Tell them I'm not a demon. Please tell them to stop hurting me." Naruto sobbed. "I will, Sochi, I will. They won't hurt you anymore. You're safe, I promise. I won't let them hurt you." The day was supposed to start off good, but Naruto's family didn't realize how deep his wounds and fears were. Kushina then recalled Naruto's medical files when Kid gave it to her. More than 25% of them were dated October the 10th. "Promise?" "Yes, Sochi-kun. That's a promise." "Okay," replied the boy as he finally smiled, believing his mother's words. "Now, Naruto-kun, you should blow the candle and make a wish." Minato indicated the cake as he tried to lighten the mood. "Yeah, and your ramen's getting cold," Narumi added. Naruto's stomach replied by growling. "Oh yeah? I dreamt I was eating ramen." Narumi and Miho giggled. "Yeah, we heard you. We also had this ramen cooked by Ayam-chan for you. I'm sure you'd love it." "Of course, Databeo." Naruto cheered, getting back to his usual happy and cheery self. His family sang happy birthday and then the boy blew the candle. Naruto then began eating the huge bowl of ramen. In a few minutes the bowl was empty. "Ichiraku's ramen is really the best." "Of course, Databane. You can have more later. Let's go downstairs and get you prepared for today's event." "Oh yeah, Naruto-kun, have you prepared your speech yet? I'm sure the girls in the village would like to hear your speech, especially Ayam," Minako asked while his other siblings snickered. What? I thought Narumi-ne-chan said that was a joke." Naruto pouted as he blushed with the thought of Ayam wanting to listen to his speech. "It was. Ha 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 ha." His siblings laughed. "Enough of that, you four. Let's go downstairs." Kushina scolded as she carried Naruto and left the room, followed by Minato. The four soon followed after their parents, while still snickering. Their little brother was too easy to tease. "Hello, Naruto-kun. Happy birthday." A man who looked like Kushina greeted the boy as they reached the living room. It was the same man Naruto saw with his father before they teleported to Uzushio. Beside the man was a boy who looked the same age as Narumi. His hair was long, touching his shoulder blades. Like most of the Uzumaki, he too had red hair. Hi. Thanks, I haven't introduced myself yet, have I? I'm your Uncle Kid. I'm your Ka-chan's elder brother. With me is your cousin, Nagato. The two with him are his best friends Konan and Yahiko." Naruto now noticed two other people beside Nagato. The girl had blue hair tied into a bun while the other boy had orange hair. Somehow he almost looked like Naruto. "Hello, cousin/Naruto-san, happy birthday." Nagato and Yahiko greeted. "Hello, Naruto-kun. I'm Konan. But you can call me Konan-chan." "Happy birthday." Naruto was still feeling a little cautious. He wasn't used to people being nice to him and greeting him on his birthday. But he still managed to smile and thank the people who greeted him. He could start getting used to people being nice to him. After all, they weren't Konoha. He curiously inspected the four people and his eyes landed last and rested on Konan's beautiful face. "Oh my god, you're so cute." Konan squealed as she rushed and hugged the boy, pressing his head to her glorious orbs. Naruto's face immediately went red. Fortunately, Kushina went to Naruto's rescue and managed to release him from the girl's grasp as he was starting to have difficulty breathing. He was still blushing when Konan released him. "Is our Otota blushing? Look, his face is red." Miho and Mio both said. "Ovu, could it be that our Naruto-kun has got a crush on Konan-chan?" Narumi asked. "Look at him, he's blushing." "Of course he does," Minako said as they laughed. Do you really have to tease me with every girl I meet?" their youngest brother asked. "Yes," his siblings replied in unison. Naruto cutely pouted as his eyes seemed to get bigger. Konan found his blue eyes very attractive and couldn't resist the boy's cuteness. So adorable. Beautiful. It's like the face of an angel. "Kami-sama, thank you for letting me meet him," Konan whispered before she fainted. All of them stared at the girl's unconscious form. "My Naruto-kun. You really are a ladies' man. I'm so proud." Minato thought. "Wow. Like father, like son," Kid thought. Meanwhile, Kushina were having trouble. She was thinking of ways to keep the girls away from her baby. "He's only 5, Databane. I'm not letting them take my Naruto-kun from me." "Yahiko, it seems you have competition," Nagato remarked as he found the scene amusing. "Oh no. Not you too," Naruto shouted, almost crying at Nagato. The whole family laughed at the scene while Naruto's face grew redder. "Alright. Let's have breakfast. Everyone, gather around the dining table. Kushina decided to interrupt before things escalated. 2 hours later, Naruto was now wearing a light blue kimono as his hair was being fixed by Kushina. Ugh. Does this ever go down? Kushina asked in frustration as she tried to get her son's hair go down. I guess it's just like mine. Let it be, Minato said, but he needs to look formal. Get down! Kushina shouted at her son's stubborn hair. He looks fine to me. Ugh. Okay, I give up. Come on, Naruto-kun. Your uncle is waiting for you downstairs. He said he's going to give you something. Do you think he's going to be alright? Kushina whispered to her husband as they went downstairs with Naruto going first. He will be fine. Minato replied, although he also looked unconvinced. They worried about what happened earlier. I'll be fine, Kachan, Tuchan. Do not worry about me. Naruto told his parents, having heard them talking about him. He gave them one of his foxy grins, making his parents smile back. Although he didn't really understand what his parents were worried about him for. Yuzuki's mansion, balcony. The whole of Uzushiogakure gathered at the bottom of the mansion, civilian and shinobi alike. Some were carrying banners that said welcome home, happy birthday, or we love you Naruto-sama. They were anxiously waiting for the Yuzuki and her family, and especially, the lost maelstrom. There were talks about different things. Some of the shinobi were wondering if they're finally revealing themselves to the world. Some of the civilians were just talking happily that Naruto came back safe. The young girls were gossiping excitedly. Those who have seen Naruto were telling their friends how cute and charming he was. The boys, on the other hand, were talking about his awesomeness. Finally, the Uzumaki Namake's family appeared, all wearing kimonos. With them were the head of the storm, Kiid, and his son, Nagato. 4 members of the family's household were at the back, waiting for orders or to give assistance. There were also 9 top members of Storm stationed at the balcony, surrounding the family. The Yuzuki stepped forward and immediately everyone became silent as they waited for her to talk. People of Uzushiogakure, I thank you all for coming here and celebrating with us. My heart is filled with gratitude seeing you all concerned with our family. 4 years ago, an allied force of IWA, Kumo, and Kiri tried to eliminate us. We found out that Konoha was also to blame for the attack. Despite our victory, we still suffered heavy losses. An unknown assailant infiltrated the mansion and took my infant son away. We were all made to believe that he was killed by incineration. For 4 years we mourned for the loss of my son. You shared my pain and my sorrow. For that I will be forever thankful to each and every one of you. The crowd cheered and felt happy hearing their Yuzuki thank them. They went silent again as their leader continued her speech. A few nights ago, I, my husband, and my 4 children had a shared dream. We saw a boy being beaten and tortured by a mob. We saw how those people hated the boy when he had done nothing wrong to deserve what they were giving him. We recognized the boy and we believed it was actually happening and decided to find him. I ordered my children and my brother to come to Konoha and look for him. My brother came back and confirmed his findings about the boy. What we saw in the dream my brother also saw in that village. He came back with documents about the boy confirming he was indeed my lost son, Naruto. Every single person here I'm sure were informed about the reports in the documents. After the meeting with the council, we have decided to let the news spread to every person living here in Uzushio. I know many of you demanded blood when you found out what Konoha did to my son. And for that, as a mother, I once again thank you. The Yuzuki bowed as the crowd murmured and returned the bow. She then continued, when my son was found, we immediately made plans to have him returned here safely. A decision was made and every shinobi volunteered for the raid that has been agreed upon. 5 raiding teams were formed and went to Konoha to fulfill the mission. The mission, Operation Lost Maelstrom, retrieve Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze and return the kindness that Konoha has given to us. Both missions were successful. My son was able to safely return and the raiding squads gave Konoha a piece of our gratitude. Konoha didn't know and still have no leads on who attacked them. They blamed the other shinobi countries who attacked our homeland 4 years ago. They believed they were the ones responsible. The crowd laughed and jeered at Konoha's stupidity. The Yuzuki raised her hand and the crowd went silent once again. I know you have been waiting to meet him ever since the news spread. I will not make you wait any longer. People of Uzushiogakure, meet the lost maelstrom, my son, Uzumaki Namikaze Naruto. The crowd cheered as the youngest heir stepped forward and presented himself to everyone. He smiled and waved at them. They happily returned the gesture and the blonde felt overwhelmed, but happy. Naruto-sama. Welcome back. We have been waiting for your return. We hope you're doing well, Naruto-sama. Uzushiogakure loves you. Naruto felt so welcomed. He stared at the crowd as he gave them his foxy grins. He looked a bit uncomfortable and shuffled his feet, but then he held out his hand and the crowd went silent for a moment. Hello? People of Uzushiogakure. I thank you for the warm welcome. I have promised that I will do my best so you will all like me. I will do what I can to become a good role model as the son of the Yuzuki. Thank you. His family was of course surprised that he even managed to make a short speech. They were nonetheless proud of him. The crowd burst again into cheers and applause. Naruto-sama, you are so cool. Please sign me your autograph. Naruto-sama, Naruto-sama. Demon, Go away, die. QB brat, demons have no place here. Go back to hell. Die. Bad memories started to haunt him as he stared at the huge crowd. He remembered back in Konoha a huge crowd always gathered against him and did unspeakable things to him. He unconsciously made a step back while clutching his head. The crowd were confused as they watched the boy's face turn into a scared look from a happy look. Their Naruto-sama was now cowering in fear. They didn't understand why. No! Please don't hurt me. I'm not a demon. Why can't you see that? Go away! The young heir screamed as he curled into a ball shaking and crying. Oh my baby! Kushina said as a tear fell down to her cheek. She immediately recovered and nodded to her other children. Narumi and Minako carefully approached their little brother and guided him back inside the mansion. No! Please! Don't hurt me. I haven't done anything wrong. The boy sobbed as he felt a warm presence. Narumi hugged her little brother and carried him away back to the mansion, closely followed by Minako and the twins. The Uzukage also ordered her household to assist her children. The crowd watched them sadly as Naruto was taken back inside the mansion. They now realized what happened to the boy. The crowd began murmuring to themselves and watched as their Uzukage stepped forward and faced them once again. Uzukage-sama! Uzukage-sama! Is this the work of Konoha? How could they do this to someone so innocent? Konoha must pay for their crimes. Konoha must burn. Let all those who have done him wrong experience the same pain they gave to Naruto-sama. Yeah, blood for blood, an eye for an eye. Fuck you Konoha! Blood, blood. The Uzukage's mind was racing. The people demanded blood. She too wanted revenge for her son and for Yuzushiogakure. But no, they were still hidden and needed to become stronger. She wanted her son to get strong first before they exact their vengeance on Konoha. Her father, the previous Uzukage, still had plans that needed to be done. She must do those first before they decide to re-emerge back to the world. She made a resolve and ordered the crowd to become silent. My brethren, I understand your desire for blood. As a mother I wanted nothing but pain for those responsible for my son's misfortunes. But no, as your leader, I must keep a straight and clear mind. We will go to war, yes. But not yet. All eyes were on her now. Yuzushiogakure still remains hidden. To the world, the Uzumaki clan were extinct. But Yuzushiogakure and the Uzumaki clan are very much alive. We are biding our time and are getting ourselves become stronger. We are gathering allies while being discreet. We are also making research for war machines that will help us in the future once we finally decide to re-emerge back to the world. We will remind them why we were feared. They were right to fear us. But deciding to exterminate us was never a great idea. We only have a few years left lying low before we decide to reappear. When that time comes, the world will know true fear. We will make them pay. Everyone, shinobi and civilian alike, roared their approval and cheered. For the last time, their leader raised her hand and they went silent. Today is my son's 5th birthday. Let us celebrate his return and forget about his oppressors for now. Also, I must ask of you not to mention about his status when he is around. He doesn't know yet about the Kyuubi no Yoko being sealed inside him yet. Let us celebrate. Let the world celebrate. For this will be one of their last celebrations. The lost Maelstrom has returned to his homeland, and when the time comes, Yuzushiogakure will rule the world. And with that, Kushina and Minato retreated back to the mansion to check on their son while Kid and the Storm went back to their duties. The crowd cheered and roared their approval of their leader's words. Uzukage Mansion. How is my baby? Kushina asked as she entered her son's room and found him sleeping with Miho and Mio beside him. He is doing fine now. It took him 10 minutes before he finally calmed down and believed he was safe from harm. The crowd really did scare him and brought back bad memories. Minako said as he stood up and let his mother approach Naruto. Kazan-san? What are we going to do? Narumi asked. Just give him time. Time heals wounds. Well, not really. The scars will remain, but yeah, you catch my drift. Minato replied. Yes. We will just show him that we love him. The villagers will also see to that. He will overcome his fears if given the time. That fear will drive him to become stronger in the future. That fear will be converted into his ultimate weapon where no one will be able to do him harm again. Konoha will see to that. Kushina said. The mother raised her hand and one of the servants approached. Yes, Uzukage-sama? Can the 4 of you go to Ichiraku's and order 30 bowls of Kushina's special ramen and bring it back here? Hi, Uzukage-sama. Thank you. Just tell Tsuchi-san to put the bill in our tab. Ramen helps me with depression, Databang. Naruto-kun's favorite is also ramen. I'm sure it will cheer him up when he wakes up. Kushina said, answering her eldest daughter and son's questioning looks. Kushina, Minato, and his siblings stayed with Naruto until he woke up about an hour later. Naruto-kun, how are you feeling? His father asked. Fine. Sochi, you don't sound fine. Please tell mommy what's on your mind. Kushina said as she held his son's hands. Naruto remained silent for a minute as he stared at the window. There was something that still bothered him. He was pondering if he should ask his parents. Ka-chan. Tu-chan. Yes, Naruto-kun? Do you really love me? Kushina and Minato looked at each other. Naruto's siblings looked surprised at the question. Of course, Sochi. Why would you think otherwise? Well, you didn't try to look for me when I was kidnapped. I was dumped into Konoha and my life was made very miserable. Kushina looked like she had been sucker punched. She felt speechless. She reached for her son and tried to hug him. Naruto-kun, I'm so sorry. I was so scared back then. I became depressed for a year. After that I tried to live my life normally. Father prohibited me from going out to look for you. We had to lay low for a while. We tried tracking your signature but we couldn't. We believed you really died. Forgive us, Naruto-kun. Please forgive your Ka-chan. Kushina sobbed. Ka-chan. I'm still scared. Naruto-kun Minato also felt speechless. What if they come back? What if they find out about me? What if they take me again? What will you do? Naruto-kun, we are very sorry for letting you go that easily. Ever since that night we dreamt about you, I have been living in regret every day. I asked myself every day what if I actually tried to look for you, and then you wouldn't have experienced your misfortunes in life. You wouldn't have lived your first years in life in fear of being mistreated. I'm so sorry. Kushina explained while her tears still flowed down. Naruto-kun. Forgive me as well, it was my fault. I was the one who sealed. Minato stopped himself. He almost spilled and told him about Kyubi. Please forgive us, Naruto-kun. We promise to become better parents for you and your siblings. Naruto-kun, we promise you Konoha will never come back. They will not take you away again. If they do find out about you, we will do everything we can to stop them from getting their filthy hands on you. If it comes for the need to kill them, we will not hesitate. We love you, Naruto-kun. We will protect you. That's a promise? Yes, Naruto-kun, we promise. Kushina said as she hugged her son tighter. They remained silent for about 5 minutes just hugging each other before Naruto finally smiled. Ka-chan, Tu-chan, yes Naruto-kun, I want to become a ninja. I want to become strong. If Konoha comes for me, I will be able to defend myself. I also want to become strong to able to protect Uzushio-gakyu from her enemies. Can you enroll me to the academy? His family smiled at his proclamation. Of course, Naruto-kun. We want you to become strong. We'll let you join the academy if that's what you wish. Kushina said as she released her son and put her hands on his cheeks. Naruto cheered. May I have the ramen? His parents chuckled as Minato nodded and gave him a bowl. Naruto's problem was finally solved in the morning. He continued celebrating his birthday and went outside to greet and thank the villagers. He spent his afternoon roaming the village. He received many gifts from the villagers. He got new clothes, new books, and ninja toys. Some of the shinobi gave him a set of real kunai and shuriken. He received books from the bookstore owner, Nana. Naruto received 25 Eat All You Can ramen for free coupons, 590% off ramen coupons from Tucci, and a kiss from Ayam which left him dazed for about an hour. Nagato and his two best friends, Yahiko and Konan, gave him a black robe with red clouds designed on it, a pair of katanas, and another kiss from Konan that made the boy become dazed for another hour. His uncle Kid gave him a tanto. His siblings gave him a set of standard Uzushio shinobi clothing and weapons while his parents gave him books about Fuinjutsu and ninjutsu. His family received a dinner invitation from the owner of the most expensive restaurant in Uzushio. His 5th was his greatest birthday ever. The next day, Uzushio-gakure Council meeting, Yuzukage-sama. We're almost finished conducting research and experimenting for our machineries. In 2 years' time, we will be producing our first battle tanks, airships, warships, and submarines. Also in 6 months our first batch of light and heavy artillery will be ready for testing. A man wearing white robes reported. He was one of Uzushio's best scientists. They were working on advanced machineries that will be of great use in the future. If our first batch of machines proves to be a success, we will need to ally with the Land of Metal to be able to produce more of these war machines. If we're to look for allies, the Land of Metal can be very helpful to us in trade and additional military power. The council was glad to hear of the research team's progress. They also approved the idea of Uzushio allying with the Land of Metal. That's a great proposition. I'll begin working to get in touch with the Land of Metal's daimyo and Kage discreetly. Is there anything else? Yes, Yuzukage-sama. We were also thinking of Amigakure. Oh yeah, hold it. The Yuzukage said as she snapped her finger, calling a storm. Please find Nagato, Yahiko, and Konan and tell them to proceed here immediately. Hi. The storm said as he vanished in a swirl of water. 10 minutes later, Yuzukage-sama. What is it? Nagato asked as he entered the meeting room with Yahiko and Konan. We were talking about which countries to get to ally with us and Amigakure was mentioned. The Yuzukage replied as she nodded to the council and resumed their meeting. As you can see, Rain Country served as a battleground during the war. The country was naturally destroyed and became a poor country. They are now being led in tyranny by a clan known to produce poison from their bodies. The leader was known as Hanzo of the Salamander, head of the Hattori clan. He was also the person who fought the 3 legendary Sannin and was the one who gave them their titles. Aim no Kuni serves as a buffer zone for Konoha and the other elemental nations. If we can negotiate and ally with them, we will have a vantage point when the time comes and we will have a shorter route when we invade the other elemental countries. I can see your point. But there will be no negotiations. My sources tell me that Hanzo is a good friend of Danzo who is from Konoha. We are going to have to eliminate them before we occupy and rule AIM, said by another council member. But how are we going to do that? Yuzukage-sama said we cannot attack other countries yet and remain hidden. Asked by another one. I've seen to that matter already. Kushina said. What are you planning, Yuzukage-sama, the Akatsuki? She smiled as Nagato, Yahiko, and Konan's eyes widened in surprise. What? Akatsuki what? What do you mean? The council asked. Kushina nodded to her nephew and his two companions as they stepped forward. Akatsuki is what we call our group, Yahiko said. Like everyone else, it is our desire to achieve peace. Konan continued. In order to achieve true peace, the world must know and feel pain. Nagato finished. You see, the reason why I called them here is because of Amigakure. They will be our means of having AIM no Kuni added to our land expansion and military might. Nagato, Yahiko, and Konan. I will be sending you three on a long-term mission. You will infiltrate AIM and pose as members of that place. You will have no trouble convincing people since Konan and Yahiko were originally from there. I believe there's a resistance in there. Find the rebels and use Akatsuki to invite them to your cause. Gather as much members and followers you can. When you are ready, overthrow the leaders and claim the country. Eliminate all loyal followers of them. We will send you 4 Yuzushiogakure shinobi as reinforcements every 2 weeks once you find the rebels and convince them to join your cause. I have strong faith in you three. Prepare to leave in a week. Thank you for trusting us, Yuzukage-sama. We will not fail you and we will make sure to fulfill our mission. I know you will. The Yuzukage replied as the three left the room. All right. Amigakure will be taken care of. Anything else? 2 years ago, there had been an uprising in Yuki no Kuni. Yuki's former daimyo, Sosetsu Kazuhana, was murdered by his own brother, Doto Kazuhana. Doto hired a group of mercenary shinobi and took over the place. Sosetsu's daughter, Koyuki, managed to escape along with the hexagonal crystal, which they believed was the key to Yuki no Kuni's hidden treasure. Our sources managed to unveil what treasure it was. The treasure was actually a heat generator for the whole country which will melt the snow and turn the weather into spring. Like AIM no Kuni, Yuki no Kuni is under control of a tyrant. Doto and his little group of mercenaries wear what they called chakra armor. These suits enhance their jutsus tenfold and also make them immune to jutsus. Whenever hit by jutsu, the armor will absorb it and convert it to chakra for the wearer to use. The wearers will also never experience chakra exhaustion since the armors drastically reduce the chakra required for a jutsu. A few weeks ago, we have managed to acquire one of the armor's newest models and have it looked in our laboratories to further study about it and find its weaknesses. For now we are still looking for the Princess Koyuki, but we still have no leads. One of them reported. Very good. I want a team sent to Snow Country and have them find Sosetsu Kazuhana's loyal followers. The team will stay there with them until we find Princess Koyuki and help her retake the country. Yuzukage-sama. What of Sunagakure? I have sent them a letter 2 days ago. By yesterday the Kazakage should have received it. Hopefully we'll have his answer within the next week. I've sent them the letter and the other necessary documents to further convince them to ally with us. Yuzushiogakures council recently discovered more news regarding Konoha's treacherous plans. They found out about their plans against Sunagakure. They were planning to do almost the same thing they have done with their former ally, Yuzushio, whom they betrayed and left. The plan was to ally with Suna first and gain their trust. Once the alliance is made, they will find and spill the village's military secrets and weaknesses to the other elemental countries, allowing Suna to be attacked easily. Once weakened, they will take the village's Jinchuriki, Sabaku no Gara, and add him to Konoha's own military arsenal. They plan to do the same things they did on Naruto, beating, torturing, and slowly brainwashing the young Jinchuriki to make them loyal to their village. Ugh. I can't believe Konoha's stooping so low and playing dirty. One council member remarked. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Another one said. They will reap what they sow, the Yuzukage said. What about Takigakure? I'm afraid Takigakure's being taken out from the list of possible allies. We have found out what they were doing to their Jinchuriki. They followed Konoha's example. Takigakure also hate their Jinchuriki. We can't ally to those who treat their own like trash. They will fall like Konoha. Kushina said coldly. There is also this history with one of their rogue shinobis. A man named Kakuzu was sent to assassinate Konoha's Shodame Hokage but failed greatly. Unable to defeat the Mokutan, he returned to Taki and reported his failed mission. What happened next was completely outrageous. They punished the man. He was sent to jail and was tortured every day for 3 months before he was released and was tasked again to assassinate the same person whom he had been tasked to kill, Hashirama Senju. Naturally, the man was angry at his village for the treatment he received. He murdered the village elders and took their hearts. He also took the village's most prized forbidden techniques before he fled. Yuzukage-sama, if we are not allying with Takigakure for how they treated their own shinobi, then why are we allying with Suna? Ah yes. The Yandame Kazakage, the Jinchuriki's father, is indeed a cunt. He tried to have his own son assassinated countless times. Their council was no different. But we have a plan for that. Once the alliance between Yuzushiogakure and Sunagakure is made, we will have the ones responsible for making Gaara's life miserable murdered brutally. They will be replaced by people with good hearts. Since the council and the Kazakage are the only people who hate Gaara, we will not have much problem. The villagers were actually good people but only grew afraid of the Jinchuriki because of his unstable seal. Once we fix the boy's seal, we will show Suna they can trust him and do not have to be afraid of him. I also plan on having him stay here in Yuzushio to be friends with my son, Naruto. They can relate to each other having the same rough childhood and status as Jinchuriki. I see. That's a sound plan, Yuzukage-sama. What are we going to do with Taki's Jinchuriki? I'm sending a team to find her and convince her to run away from Taki. It should be easy. Once Taki lists her as a missing nin, we will take her under our protection. If there's nothing else, then we should adjourn this meeting. Yuzukage-sama, we wish Naruto-sama a belated happy birthday. Here are our gifts. The council said as they presented their gifts for the young heir to the Yuzukage. 2 storm members took the gifts and brought them to the mansion. Thank you. We will talk again once we receive Suna's response. Dismissed. Hi. The council members said as they stood up and left the room. Konohagakure. 2 days have passed since the incident, and instead of being able to rise up and recover from the raid, Konoha faced more problems. The village elders Danzo Shimura, Koharu Yuditane, and Hamira Mitokado were found unconscious one day after the attack on the village. They were immediately rushed to the hospital in fear of them dying. The village doctors and healers found nothing wrong with them. Their chakra coils were normal, their organs showed no signs of malfunctioning, their bodies were completely healthy. Yet they were still baffled on their patient's current condition. Teams were sent to investigate the elders' houses and they were able to find residuals of very, very strong and potent dose of sleeping pills all over their drinks and food. The investigating teams gathered the residues to be studied in the hospital but later found out that the medicine slowly vanishes into nothingness, leaving no trace, when exposed to air. They were able to realize this when there was nothing left to study. This left them very frustrated and was forced to just wait for the elders to wake up since they found their bodies and brains perfectly healthy. They concluded they were simply put into a coma. The whole village, on the other hand, was put into a very shitty situation. The place stank of human waste. Every single person in the village had been diagnosed with a very strong and unique kind of diarrhea. The comfort rooms were always full of the infected and had very long lines. Those who were unfortunate enough, which was many, had no choice but to release their bowels on the road, the park, or wherever place they were. The doctors, through their own experiences, were able to determine the disease. The person infected will experience the same symptoms of diarrhea. What made it different from the normal diarrhea was that the body of the person infected will automatically replenish their lost waters and will keep them from becoming dehydrated. But because of the body being forced to replenish lost waters, the infected person becomes very weak. Though infected by the disease, teams were formed to investigate the cause of the pandemic, and found out that the village's water tanks were mixed with many amounts of laxatives. They had no choice but to gather water outside the village and left traces of human waste along the roads. Because of the raid, a few mission and contract givers became hesitant to hire Konoha. This caused the village to have a lower source of income. The mission givers and contractors drastically decreased when they found out about the whole village infected with a strong and unique kind of diarrhea. Merchants and traders also avoided the village in fears of getting infected. News about the plague traveled fast. Only the daimyo's family, the people who lived near and inside the fire capital, and those who really needed something from Konoha kept their business with them running. Konoha's reputation went to totally fucked up from most trusted and respected. Sunagakure no Sato. The Yandame Kazakage was surprised with the sudden increase of mission and contract requests. When he heard about Konoha, he was somewhat thankful for the slight increase of business. When the news about Konoha's plague spread, 90% of that village business decided to look for another village to deal business with. The populace of Suna felt very sorry for Konoha in the inside but was very happy on the outside. Finally, more missions for them. They will be more recognized. They will have more means of income. The Kazakage just finished assigning missions and was now signing papers. Kazakage-sama. A Suna Jonin carrying a scroll suddenly entered the office. Yes? Here's another scroll from the unknown sender. Oh. Just leave it here. Thank you. Hi. The Kazakage finished his stack of paper and decided to open the scroll and 2 folders poofed out from it. He decided to read the scroll first. Greetings, Kazakage-dano. Once again we would like to offer you an alliance between our respective villages. We are sure that we will both benefit with it, and we assure you that your village will benefit greatly with it. As stated in our previous letter, you will have an increase in mission requests, and other businesses such as trade and other contracts. There you have it. Konoha's benefactors have decided to invest to your village instead. We must ask for your pardon if we cannot tell you who we are. Until you have agreed with the deal, we cannot reveal ourselves and our village. Although we can assure you that our intentions align with you are true, and we have no hidden agenda behind it. We simply wish an alliance so both our villages can have more trading resources and military strength. You can attest our strengths by looking on what happened with Konoha. See how much damage we have done within only 30 minutes. Also attached in this scroll are documents regarding your treaty with Konoha and their plans for it. We have managed to recover these files during our little raid. See for yourself. We hope that we could reach into a compromise and please us with your decision. We thank you in advance and wish you good fortune in your surge of incoming missions. Tsunagekyu's friend. The Kazekage smirked as he put down the scroll. Now he knew who was to thank for their sudden increase in economy. He also understood the hidden threat within the message should he decide to do something funny like decline their proposal, or reveal about them to Konoha. The Kazekage understood and saw how powerful their mysterious friend was. If he approves of the alliance, his country will become stronger and will have the power to oppose the 4 other elemental nations and other strong countries. He has already decided to agree to the alliance while he was still reading the letter. There will be no need of threats. Of course he will agree. His village has benefited a lot thanks to these mysterious people. The Kazekage then picked one of the 2 folders attached with the scroll and opened it. His facial expression turned to anger from curiosity as he read the folder's contents. Inside the folder was the progress report regarding Konoha's proposed alliance to Suna. Stated there were Konoha's true plans behind the supposed alliance. They were planning on befriending his village to discover their secrets and military weaknesses and exploit those. They also planned about taking Suna's Jinchuriki and brainwashing him. They wanted to add the Shikaku to their military arsenal. Once they have gotten what they wanted, they will overthrow Tsunagekyou no Sato with or without the help of the other 3 nations. After reading the file, he knew there was no doubt he will accept Konoha's mysterious attacker's proposal for an alliance. He's definitely going to agree to it. Consequences of the alliance be damned. He'll think about those later. He will bring down Konoha with the help of his mysterious ally. The Kazekage then picked up the second folder. Inside it was the alliance approval between his village and their unknown friend. On top of it was a note. This is the paper that will prove our alliance. Know that this paper is infused with blood seals and truth seals. Everything written here is true. Everything proposed about the agreement once signed will be done. There will be no backstabbing, pulling back, or cancellation of the alliance. Failure to comply with the agreement will cause death of the one who signed it, his successor's successor, and so on. The contract will expire in 15 years. The choice is yours if wished to renew it. In which we are sure you will, since your country will benefit greatly with it. The Sand Leader was impressed with the paper. He didn't know such a kind of seal existed. He continued reading the contract. Both countries will benefit with each other. There will be a trade system between both villages. Items that are usually found in the country's vicinity that cannot be found within their allied countries' areas will be shared equally or traded and vice versa. There will be sharing of knowledge about enemies, threats, and future threats. There will be also a sharing of training and teaching methods in the academy to help both villages produce strong shinobi in the future. Lastly, there will be a sharing of each country's jutsus. These jutsus will be taught in the village's respective academies. More importantly, there will be a military alliance. Should one of the village calls for assistance in a time of war or natural calamities or other problems, the allied village will respond and prove any assistance they can. Keizugake Dano, there is a personal favor I want to ask you and I'll make it in addition to this agreement. You see, my son is also a Jinchuriki who happens to be with the same age as your son, Gaara. I would like your approval to send him and his siblings to our village and let them stay for at least 5 years. My son has few friends around his age and I wish him to grow up and become used to people near his age. Also, I'd like both children spend time around with each other since they are both Jinchuriki. This is my personal request. I hope we can have an agreement on this. Please cut your wrist and let a small amount of blood touch on the paper. Use your own blood to sign if you approve of our agreement and alliance. Tsunagekyou's ally. The Kazekage was a bit surprised with the request. He didn't expect the mysterious village to have their own Jinchuriki. He was shocked by that revelation. He wondered which tale they had. I'll find out soon. I see nothing wrong about the personal favor. If this is what it takes to get back to Konoha, sending my children to their village is a small price to pay, and I'm sure they will help my children train to grow stronger. Yes, I'll definitely approve of this. Konoha, you better pray to whatever god starting from now. For now Tsunagekyou have a stronger ally. The Suna's leader thought as he cut his wrist with a kunai and let a few droplets hit the paper. He then took a pen and signed the contract with his blood. The moment he was finished signing, the paper glowed and a new folder appeared along with a ring with a small sapphire on top of it with a swirled design. There was also a note on top of the folder. Kazekage Dano, we knew we could trust in Tsunagekyou. Thank you for agreeing to make an alliance with us and hope you will not let us down in the future. We chose to ally with Suna since it was the only village who haven't done anything against Yuzushiogakure. This folder explains everything that has transpired 4 years ago up to the day Konoha was raided. We hope that all of your questions will be answered by this folder. If not, then simply concentrate your chakra on this ring. We strongly advise you to wear it all times starting from the moment our alliance has been approved by you. Don't worry, there's nothing fancy on that ring. You won't die or feel any negative effects by wearing it. We simply do not want other people finding this ring, do we? Of course not. This ring is a symbol of our alliance, and also a communication device. It has been applied with seals, so all you have to do is flare your chakra on it, and call on my name should you wish to speak or arrange a meeting with us. Once again, the whole of Yuzushio-gakure appreciates your treaty with us. Kushina Uzumaki Namikaze. Shodain Yuzukage no Adarashi Yuzushio-gakure no Sato. How many times have I said this? The Kazekage was shocked with the revelation. Yuzushio-gakure? Yuzushio-gakure still exists? Uzumaki's? Kushina Uzumaki? They're alive? She's alive? They were the ones who attacked Konoha? But why? How are they dash? Oh Kami, now my head hurts, the Suna leader thought as he massaged his head. He then shouted and called for his ANBU. 4 of them appeared in front of him kneeling. Umbu. I want the village locked down immediately. I want all possible entries to the village secured. Nobody is to get inside or go outside. Also have this room surrounded by 4 squads of the top ANBU. Secure this room and make sure nobody enters. Hi! The Kazekage stood up and quickly went into a series of hand seals. He applied the room with the strongest privacy seals he knew. Nobody from the outside will see, hear, or feel anything. He went back to his seat and began reading the contents of the folder. It took him almost 2 hours since he had to read the contents of the folder 3 times, as if memorizing it. All questions that had been lingering on his head were answered thanks to the information he read from the folder. He put down the files and took deep calming breaths. After about 10 minutes, he flared his chakra on the ring that he was now wearing. Yuzushio-gakure, Yuzukage's office. The Yuzukage was signing off papers as she felt a new chakra signature. She smiled and muttered, well, that was unexpectedly fast. The Uzumaki leader snapped her fingers and 2 masked figures who were kneeling appeared. Please find my husband and my brother, and tell them to come over here immediately. Hi, is there a problem? Minato asked as he entered the room and hugged his wife. Nothing. In fact, it is the opposite. Something good has happened. What is it, Imuto? Keed asked as he also entered the room. The Kazekage has approved of our proposed alliance with them. We are now allies with Sunagakure. He's also requested for an audience with us. We're going there now. I see. That was fast. Minato commented. Indeed. Keed agreed. We gave them everything that will convince them to ally with us. But yes, I didn't expect their answer this week. The Yuzukage said as she made 3 kage bunshins. I'll leave you 3 here. One of you do the paperwork. One of you go and check on Naruchan. One of you will call a council meeting and inform them of the good news. You can trust us on that database. Kushina nodded at the 3 clones. She looked at her husband and her brother and nodded to the both of them. Let's go. The 3 vanished in a yellow flash as Minato did his oration. Back to Sunagakure. The Kazekage was still in his office and was anxiously pacing the floor. It had been almost 15 minutes since he flared his chakra on the ring. He stopped and went to drink a glass of water and then went back to his pacing. Suddenly there was a familiar flash of yellow. Greetings, Kazekage-dano. The Kazekage stopped in his tracks and now stood facing his 3 newly arrived guests. His eyes widened as his gaze landed on the woman who greeted him. Next he stared at the other person with her, and noticed that they looked alike. Lastly, his gaze went to the other person standing beside the woman. He almost had a heart attack as he gaped at the man with yellow hair, blue eyes, and was wearing a long white coat with flames designed on the bottom of it. He looked like he had seen someone risen from the dead. In which of course he has. Kukushina Yuzuzumaki Minato, the Suna leader, stuttered as he unconsciously took a step backwards. Luckily he fell on his chair as he was still gawking at the 2. Yuyu the Kazekage was normally the silent type of person. But this was the first time he had been dumbfounded speechless. His 3 guests were trying their best not to laugh despite the funny looks the Kazekage was giving them. Thankfully they were able to keep their impassive looks as it would most likely offend the Suna leader if they laughed at him. The man slowly recovered himself as he took another glass of water to calm his nerves. I can't believe it, he whispered to himself, but enough for his guests to hear. He cleared his throat and politely asked his guests to take a seat. Kazekage-dano, how are you feeling now? Kushina asked as she was a bit concerned with the man. The Yondaime Kazekage cannot die yet. They still have plans for him. It would totally suck if he died because of his heart failing. I think I'm better now, thank you Yuzukage-dano. Let's just say I wasn't that prepared enough to see you. Especially the Yondaime Hokage, since everyone knew he died 4 years ago. I've read the files about what has transpired 4 years ago, and to be honest, I had my doubts everything written there was true. We understand, Kazekage-dano. It will be really hard for people to believe about our existence. But here we are. I apologize for having doubts on you, my allies. I assure you I will not doubt the power of the Uzumakis ever again. The Yondaime Kazekage said as he bowed. It is all right, Kazekage-dano. We didn't take any offense. The man nodded as he took another glass of water and offered 3 more glasses to his guests. His nerves finally calmed down as he cleared his throat and went to business. I thank you for coming in short notice. As the leader of this village, I formally welcome you to Sunagakure. I asked for you here since I wanted to meet and greet you personally. Kazekage-dano, I thank you for inviting us here. More importantly, Yuzushio-gakure thanks you for agreeing to our proposed alliance. We hope that our villages will become strong in partnership and friendship. Our alliance will definitely help us in a lot of aspects. Also, I would like to introduce you to my elder brother Keed. He is the head of our storm and was also the leader of the Lost Maelstrom search and rescue mission. Pleased to meet you, acquaintance Keed-san, the Kazekage said as he bowed to the man. Yuzukage Dano, you are welcome here since we are allies now. Sanagekure also thanks you for the surge of missions we are having. Earlier, before I found about the truth about Yuzushiogakure, I was just finished signing off papers and assigning missions to my shinobi. They were to leave in 3 hours' time, but then now I realized missions had to be delayed. When I saw the documents after I signed the contract, I immediately ordered my ANBU to put the village on a lockdown. When I finished reading, I thought of introducing you to the village as soon as new allies, since I already had the village put up on a lockdown, and nobody is getting in or out of the village. My shinobi who were out thankfully just made it in time, and all shinobi and civilians of Sunagakure is inside this village. We have no outsiders or visitors at the moment except the unwanted guests. I'd be glad if you could grant my request, as it will be also easier to explain to the villagers. If not, then it is fine. I'll understand if you wish to keep your village's existence hidden. After all, every village has enemy spies lurking around inside it, blending in with the populace. I'm glad you thought ahead of it. I was actually about to ask you if we could introduce ourselves to the populace of Suna as their new ally. If you were feeling troubled about the spies planted in here, we can take care of it. It will be easier since the village is already on a lockdown. The Kazekage perked up upon hearing this. How do you plan on doing that without alerting them? Simple. We'll execute them all at the same time. The Uzumaki has its own ways dealing with unwanted guests. That is why we were able to stay hidden from the world for 5 years now without any trouble at all. I would like to ask your permission to get rid of all the unwanted guests here. I'm asking for your permission because the process will be very bloody. If it is for the good of my village, of course I will have no problems with it. What do you need? More blood, actually. What we are about to do is a kinjutsu as it requires a lot of blood. The seal we applied on the contract was also a kinjutsu. Which is why I asked for your permission. You're going to have to spill a large amount of blood on the floor. You do not have to worry about suffering blood loss. We have taken precautions for that as we have brought blood pills. We were actually planning on eliminating all spies here when we answered your call. If you were wondering why it had to be your blood, it is because you are the leader of this village. When Yuzushiogakure dealt with the traitors, my father also did the ritual as he was the Yuzukage that time. Now you do not have to worry about your blood spilling and going on all directions. With the jutsu ongoing, it should stay in one place. You'll see and understand once we do it. I see. I do not have any problems with it. I trust highly on your skills. Well then, let us get started. The Yuzukage thanked him for the praise. She then nodded and her two companions went to their positions. The Kazekage was in the middle, being surrounded by the three in a triangular formation. Kazekage Dano, when you see a triangular seal form, wait for a blood katana to appear, then take it and use it to stab yourself on the heart. When the seal glows blue, use the katana and draw the kanji for barrier on your 4 directions. North, east, south, and west. When you are done, stab the chi bunshin on the heart that will later appear using the katana. Wait for all the blood to dissipate, and then finally stab the spot where the blood clone once stood with the katana. That's fucking brutal. The Kazekage chuckled, commenting on the complicated process of the jutsu. He then nodded, signaling them he was ready. The 3 people surrounding him nodded and went into a series of hand seals before calling on the name of the jutsu. Uzumaki secret, blood seal, cleansing and protection of the populace. The air in the room became heavy as a circle appeared on each of them and started to connect with each other. Soon there was a yellow glow as the triangle formed. The color slowly changed color until it stopped on blood red. A triangular barrier then appeared by the seal, trapping the 4 people inside. Soon a blood katana appeared in front of the Kazekage. He then took it and stabbed himself on the heart with it. He was surprised when he did not feel any pain. He only felt a pulling sensation from the katana. The katana sucked the blood out from the man and the blood stayed on the tip of the handle. A few minutes later the blood started to take on a form. It took about 10 minutes before the blood clone fully materialized. It looked exactly like the Kazekage. The seal started to change its color once again and slowly turned into blue. He unstabbed himself and began drawing the kanji for barrier on his 4 directions. When he was done, he raised the katana and stabbed the chi bunshin. The chi bunshin screamed and then exploded, splattering all directions with blood. The blood that splattered slowly dissipated into smoke. Soon the area was once again clean. The Kazekage then stabbed the floor using the katana. The seal started to glow brighter and changed into color green. Soon the glowing slowly stopped. The seal vanished as the lines making the triangle unconnected until there were only circles surrounding them. Soon the circles also vanished and they felt the air go back to normal. The process took almost half an hour. The Kazekage felt lightheaded. The Yuzukage approached the Suna leader and slapped her hands on the man's chest. Fuin healing. The Kazekage then felt better thanks to the seal. Keed handed him 3 pills and a glass of water. He gratefully accepted it and took the pills. He felt more dizzy a minute after taking the blood pills. Kazekage Dano, please sit down for now. You'll feel very dizzy for a few minutes because of the blood pills regenerating your lost blood. He followed her advice and went for his seat. His 3 guests also took theirs as they waited for him to feel better. After about 10 minutes, he nodded to them, signaling them he was all right. Kai! Kushina, Minato, and Keed shouted. Moments later, screams of agony were heard throughout the village. All unwanted guests inside Sunagakure felt like their hearts had been stabbed and let out piercing screams as their bodies exploded into blood and gore. The people that were around watched in horror as the streets were splattered with blood and flesh remains. Soon it slowly dissipated in smoke. Finally? That was tiring. The Yellow Flash commented. Indeed. The Kazekage agreed. Kazekage-dano, you should release the seals now and call everyone for a meeting. We'll go back to Yuzushiogakure and let you explain things to your villagers. When you and your people are ready, flare your chakra on the ring and we'll arrive shortly. Now you will not have to worry about unwanted ears hearing what you'll tell your people. Also, no more unwanted guests will be able to enter the village because of the barrier seal. They will die on the spot. You will be able to collect their bodies for your use or whatever you wish to do with them. There will be no traitors from the inside because as soon as someone decides to betray the village, they will face the same fate the spies have met. Oh, before I forget, here are the scrolls. The Yuzukuge said as she handed the Kazekage a scroll. He then opened it. There was a huge smoke. Wait! Don't dash! The woman tried to warn him. But she was a bit too late. The Kazekage widened his eyes as hundreds of scrolls came pouring out from the scroll he just opened. What are these? That, Kazekage-dano, are the memories of all those who died earlier from the ritual. It would seem that this village had hundreds of unwanted guests. I'm sure they will be very useful. I also have copies of them so we could find out where they came from and what they know. Since we are allies now, you do not have to worry about us gaining knowledge from them. Good luck sorting them out. Each person have the number of scrolls depending on their age. Say for example a spy is 50 years old, there will be 50 scrolls for that person. Each scroll has their name and age. Sorting them out will not be that hard, the Yuzukuge said as she tried to stifle her laugh. Arg. This is too troublesome. The man grumbled. Well, she did warn you. Minato said as he too was trying not to laugh, but she was too late. Heh. Don't worry, I'll leave you some clones to help you sort them out. Kushina said as she made 12 shadow clones. We'll take our leave, Kazekage-dano. We'll see you again later. Okay, thank you. The Kazekage shook hands with the 3 of them as he thanked them. Moments later they were back to Yuzushiogakure in a flash of yellow lightning. Let's get these sorted out. He told the clones as he grabbed a scroll. 1.5 hours later. Finally. That's taken care of. Thank you for your help. I'll flare my chakra on this ring when I have finished explaining things to my countrymen. Will do. We will let the boss know. The clones said as they dispelled themselves and the memories were transferred to the original. The Kazekage then went to remove the privacy seals he placed on the room earlier. He only have less than an hour to explain before the supposed departure of the teams for the mission. I guess the missions will have to be delayed for 2 hours. He thought as he finished removing the seals and opened the door of his office. Immediately an ANBU captain came in front of him kneeling. Sir, there had been multiple deaths across the village while you were inside. Their deaths were gruesome. They suddenly screamed and their bodies exploded. Thankfully you have ordered us earlier for a lockdown, and we are still trying to find the ones who did the brutal killings. Cancel the search. Do not worry about them. I am aware of the killings earlier, sir. Also, Counselor and Captain Yura is one of those who had been murdered, sir. Yura? Now that's news to me. I should have known he was a traitor. He was acting rather odd. Oh well, he's been taken care of. The Kazekage simply shrugged. Sir? The ANBU was totally confused about their leader. He didn't make sense. Do not worry about it. Now I want you to alert all the villagers. Shinobi and civilians alike. I want everyone gathered outside the Kazekage mansion in 30 minutes. I have something of importance to announce. All missions that have been assigned will have to be delayed for about 2 hours. 30 minutes later, there was a lot of murmuring from the crowd. Many were still shaken from what they have witnessed earlier. The sudden deaths really scared them. A lot of them were worried that they were the next village being targeted by the same unknown people who attacked Konoha. Finally their questions will be answered as they saw the Yondaime Kazekage on the balcony. His children also looked confused as they too have no clues on what was happening. They stopped their murmurings when their leader raised his hand. People of Sunagakure. First of all, I assure you that you have nothing to worry about. The sudden deaths of about 100 people earlier were not the doings of the enemy. Their deaths were for the good of the village. I know many of you were probably close friends or acquainted with some of them. But you had no idea they were spies. Yes, those who died earlier were spies. I, with the help of 3 other people, did a ritual that got rid this village of unwanted guests, and also placed a barrier seal that will immediately kill future spies that will be sent in here. Many of them were shocked by the revelation. Some of those who knew the people who died were saddened as they now discovered they were spies. They felt like they had been cheated by them. Some were angry for their betrayal of their trust, and were now satisfied by their deaths. The Kazekage continued, Now, what I'm about to tell you next must be kept a secret and are for only the people of Suna. Are we clear? The crowd replied even though many were confused. You all know about Konoha making negotiations with us for an alliance, right? Many of the shinobi nodded, as well as some of the civilians. Now, I'm going to tell you that I'm putting up the ongoing negotiations to an end. We are not allying with Konoha. Why, you ask? One of the 3 people with me earlier informed me about Konoha's planned treachery against us once we approve of the alliance with them. Konoha planned on spilling our secrets to the other nations, thus making our country an easy target. We were about to follow what has happened with Yuzushiogakure. Yes, you all know Konoha and Yuzushio were once allies, but the latter was destroyed. I have the documents that will prove they were betrayed by Konoha. I was shown the documents of the report during Yuzushigakure's supposed downfall. The Leaf conspired with Iwa, Kumo, and Kiri and tried to eliminate the Uzumaki clan. They also kidnapped Kushina Uzumaki's infant child and made the 2-day-old baby the Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi no Yoko the night it attacked Konoha. The Leaf will do the same to Suna if we approved of the alliance. They will take our Jinchuriki and make him their own. Gaara looked horrified when he heard his father. Temari and Kankura looked concerned for their little brother. They went back to listening to their father as he continued to speak. With that revelation, I am going to state Konoha as a neutral county for now. In the coming years I will finally add it to the enemy list. Now, all dealings with Konoha will be ended. There will be no more trade or other friendly terms with them. If you see someone from that village, be it a shinobi or a civilian, ignore them. I am going to be strict with this. Do not make any contact with them. Now I know many of you are disappointed because the alliance with the strongest village is now void. But you do not have to worry. For we are now allied with a stronger village. About a week ago, I received a letter from an unknown sender. The letter told me that Sunagakure will have a surge of missions in a few days. A few days later, Konoha was attacked by still unidentified people. Today I received a second letter from the same unknown sender. They revealed themselves to be the ones responsible attacking the Leaf. They also offered an alliance with us. They were the ones who presented me the documents about Konoha's planned betrayal against us and their betrayal to Yuzushio. What we are going to tell you next will be a Class SS secret, and only the people of Suna are supposed to know. Anyone spilling it to outsiders will immediately face death. Am I clear? The Kazekage asked. He stared at the crowd seriously, sending amounts of killing intent. Understood? Hi, good. My brethren, please meet our new allies. Meet the leader of Yuzushiogakure, he declared while sending a flare on his ring. No less than 3 seconds later there was a flash of yellow. The crowd had their jaws dropped on the floor as they stared at the people who they believed were now dead. They almost shit themselves as they watched Kushina Uzumaki and Minato Namikaze smiling and waving at them. For the next hour, the Yuzukage, the Yandame Hokage, and with the help of the Yandame Kazekage, the truth about Yuzushiogakure were revealed and explained to the populace of Suna. The alliance between both villages were also explained. Gaara felt happy when he heard about the Yuzukage personally requesting him to be brought to her village and let him stay there for at least 5 years. His siblings Temari and Kankuro also felt happy for their little brother. They will not have to worry about assassins being sent after Gaara. Sunagakure thanked their new allies for the huge favor they have done for their village. They revealed about Konoha and also got a surge of missions. They will also now look forward to their village becoming stronger in the next years. Yuzukage Dano, once again Sunagakure thanks you for everything you have done. I will talk with my children about sending them to your country. Please expect my call in a week. I also thank you Kazekage Dano. Having sent your children to us will be very good for my son, Naruto. They shook hands and then parted. Minato was still receiving funny looks from most of the crowd. He chuckled to himself as he grabbed his wife by the hips and Hiroshined back to Yuzushiogakure. Naruto was in his room reading. He has already finished reading From Man to Shinobi, The Birth of Nishu, Hagoromo Otsutsuki, Rikudo Sennin, The Great Shinobi War, and was just about to finish reading The Second Shinobi War. He learned about the founder of Nishu and Hagoromo's family. Everything started when a female warrior stole a fruit from the god tree, which later became enraged and started killing off people to reclaim its stolen power. This era was referred to as War of the Gods, where the Rikudo Sennin battled the Jubi with his Rinnegan and managed to defeat it. Hagoromo then divided the power of the Jubi into 9. There the tailed beasts were born, ranging from 1 to 9 tails. According to the Great Shinobi War, the tailed beasts were captured and was used as a means by the Shodaime Hokage for peace negotiations. He was able to capture them using his Mokutan abilities and distributed it to the other nations to balance the power. The 9 tails, however, was the only one the Hokage wasn't able to capture, as he cannot find it. Time passed by and the beasts did not like being controlled, so they rampaged. The leaders of the respective villages decided to seal them into human beings. The people who held the tailed beast inside them were referred to as Jinchuriki. During the Second Shinobi War, a kunoichi named Mito Uzumaki, who was also the first Yuzukage, was able to capture and seal the Kyuubi inside her one night it attacked her village. Later it was found that the Kyuubi had been controlled by the rogue second founder of Konoha, Madara Uchiha, by using his Sharingan and set it to attack Yuzushiogakure. After the incident, the Shodaime Hokage proposed an alliance to Yuzushio by marriage, to which the Yuzukage agreed. The two countries then became allies as the Shodaime Hokage and the Shodaime Yuzukage got married. Later on, because of her old age, Mito transferred the kyubi to her great-granddaughter, Kushina Uzumaki. Naruto suddenly snapped his book shut and grabbed a pen and paper and wrote, Rinnegan, Uzumaki clan. And Jinchuriki. He brought a pen and notebook with him as he left his room and dashed off to the library. He went to the front desk and presented the paper to ask for assistance. A librarian led him into a private table and told him to wait as she went to find the books related to the 3 topics he wrote down on the paper. A few minutes later, the librarian returned and handed him a basket of books. Wow! There's too many. I guess I will be here for a while, Naruto thought as he took a book and began scanning it. He looked for something important and began jotting down notes on his notebook. The Rinnegan, or the Samsara Eye, is the dojutsu of the Sage of the Six Paths, who was also known as Hagoromo Otsutsuki. The Rinnegan was first wielded by Hagoromo. He was known as the Rikudo Sannin because the Rinnegan have 6 realms and an outer realm. The animal realm, or Chikashoto, grants the Rinnegan user the ability to summon various animals and creatures to aid him in battle. The summons are immortal and can be summoned again once it has been defeated or killed in battle. Summoning creatures do not require hand signs or seals. The animal path also grants the user the ability to summon people using hand signs or seals. The Azura path, demon realm, or Shurato, grants the user the ability to summon or create various weapons and armors. The weapons made by the Azura path are very strong. It can easily cut through normally crafted weapons. The user can also make his skin his own armor by hardening it. The Deva path, god realm, or Tendo, grants the user the ability to manipulate force and gravity. Using Tendo's skills have a minimum of 5-second interval, depending on the strength of the jutsu used. Only Hagoromo Otsutsuki have been known who can use the Deva path without the 5-second interval penalty. The human realm, or Ninjendo, grants the user the ability to read the mind of any target. The user can also extract the soul of the target and gain all of its memories, but with the cost of the target's life. The Naraka path, Hell realm, or Jigakudo, grants the user 2 main abilities. One is interrogation while the other is restoration. The user can summon the King of Hell to interrogate targets. If the target lies during interrogation, it will be consumed by the demon head. If the target then tells the truth, it will be spared. The user can restore any living beings back to its normal state. For example, if a person loses a limb, the user will have that person eaten by the demon head and after a few seconds, will be released with the lost limb back. The Petra path, Hungry Ghost realm, or Gakido, grants the user to absorb any ninjutsu-based technique. The Petra path can also absorb a target's chakra through physical contact. Last is the outer path, or Gedo. The Rinnegan user is granted the ability to revive the dead. Reviving the dead requires a huge amount of chakra. If the chakra is not enough, then a percentage of the user's life force will be consumed instead. Naruto finished the book and took another one. People who have the Rinnegan are believed to be very powerful beings and will bring peace to the world. Only Hagoromo Otsutsuki have been able to unlock the final form of the Rinnegan. Having unlocked its true form means the prophecy for the fate of the world has started that is related to the Jubi. The Rinnegan passed down to his descendants look purple with ring patterns on it, while the final form has 6 tomos added with the eye. The prophecy is believed that when the final form is once again born into the world, the Jubi will be reborn as well and must be stopped. It is also possible that the Jubi will be reborn first, and will be followed by the Rinnegan's true and final form. During the War of the Gods, Hagoromo had already unlocked his Rinnegan's final form when the Jubi came to Earth and started rampaging. Naruto noticed the book was rather short. He felt that there should be more information about the Jubi and the Rinnegan's final form. He decided that maybe he could find more information from other books. Next he took a book that looked so ancient and was bloodied. He opened it and saw the pages were blank. He then checked on the first page and noticed writings on it. Reader, if you are able to read the writings on this page, then that means you are my descendant. You are about to read and learn the secrets of the Uzumaki clan. In order to be able to read the contents of this book, you are required to perform a blood-contracting seal. Follow the hand seals required and use the kunai that will appear. Wound yourself and let your blood stain the cover of the book. 3 droplets will do. Next, sign the second page with your name using your blood. Writing your name on this book means that you agree to keep every information that you will learn from this from people outside the Uzumaki clan. This book has seals that updates itself of the current events about the Uzumaki clan. Meaning that even it is past my timeline, the important events will continue up to the current date will be automatically written. Another seal applied on this book will produce a copy for the one who signed it. Receive this gift, for you are an Uzumaki and deserve to know about our clan. Become stronger, descendant. Show the world the power of our clan. Mito Uzumaki, Shodame Yuzukage and founder of Yuzushiogakure. Naruto felt excited and checked his surroundings to see if nobody was watching him. He then followed the hand signs that were written on the book. Uzumaki secret, blood seal, discerning of the ancient secrets, Naruto shouted as he slammed his hand on the book. Soon a kunai appeared and he went to make a gash on his palm. He let 3 droplets of blood splatter on the book's cover. Next he went to the second page and noticed a lot of names. He recognized some of the names who have signed it. Kid Uzumaki, Kushina Uzumaki Namikaze, Nagato Uzumaki, Narumi Uzumaki Namikaze, Minako Uzumaki Namikaze, Miho Uzumaki Namikaze, and lastly, Mio Uzumaki Namikaze. He then signed his name under the last Uzumaki's signature, whose first name was Karen. Soon the book glowed, and a few seconds later a copy of it materialized beside it. Naruto checked the copy and read, "This book is the property of Uzumaki Namikaze Naruto." Naruto then closed the book and decided to read it back inside his bedroom later. He then set the original aside and grabbed another book. The next book was about the tailed beasts and the Jinchuriki. The book was only published 2 years ago. He scanned and wrote down the important information on his notebook. Jinchuriki, or human sacrifices, are the vessels of the tailed beasts. They are often despised by their villages because of their power, and in fear of them releasing the beast sealed inside them. Jinchurikis normally leave an awful life, and most of them live their lives in seclusion. Bijus, or tailed beasts, are very huge amount of demonic chakra. There are 9 tailed beasts known in existence, counting from 1 to 9 tails. Villages usually seal them inside humans to keep them from rampaging around or to simply make use of their power for military purposes. The one tail, or the Ichibi, is a raccoon and has the power to create magnetic forces, control and manipulate sand. The Ichibi, having the least tail of all beasts, is considered the weakest. It has been in possession of Tsunegekure, and had been sealed into many different people, but there had been always a problem. The Jinchuriki of the Shikaku are usually insane because of a priest who tried to seal it inside him before. The 2 tails, or the Niabai, is cat and has the power to produce blue flames. It has been known to be in possession of Kumogakure. Kumogakure is the only village known to have treated their Jinchuriki in good ways, unlike the other villages, as their Jinchuriki have been always a relative of the Reikage. The 3 tails, or the Sandbai, is a turtle and has the power to create corals and can swim at high speeds underwater. Known to be in possession of Kirigakure. The 4 tails, or the Yambi, is a gorilla and has the power to produce lava by combining fire and earth elements. It has been last sealed inside a shinobi named Rashi, a former Iwagakure who now lives in isolation. The 5 tails, or the Gobi, has the head of a dolphin and the body of a horse. It has the ability to use steam by combining the nature elements fire and water. It has been last sealed inside Han, also a former Iwa nin, and has followed his fellow Jinchuriki, Rashi's life, who lived away from the village. The 6 tails, or the Rokubi, is a slug that can release amounts of toxic acids. It used to be in possession of Kirigakure, but its Jinchuriki have been declared a missing nin. The 7 tails, or the Nanabai, is a horned beetle that can produce silk or cocoon that are chakra threads. Using its wings, it can also emit blinding powder, and naturally has the ability to fly. It has been in possession of Takigakure, the only village that wasn't one of the 5 great nations who possessed a tailed beast. The 8 tails, or the Hachibi, has the head of a bull and the body of an octopus. It can produce ink and also use its head to ram targets when charging. It has been in possession of Kumogakure and has been sealed into 6 hosts. Its host at the moment, Killer B, the Reikage's brother, is the only known Jinchuriki who have full control of his tailed beast. Killer B is also known as the perfect Jinchuriki. He is believed to have befriended the beast sealed inside him and can assume the Hachibi's tailed beast form without losing consciousness. The 9 tails, or the Kyubi, is the strongest of all tailed beasts as it has the most number of tails. It has the power to detect negative emotions and regenerate quickly. Also, it has the ability to use and produce fox fire, one of the strongest kind of fire that can even overpower the Mangekyo Sharingan Amaterasu. Konoha is known to have the Kyubi in possession. Jinchuriki also acquires the same power of the beast that is sealed inside them. They also gain the huge amounts of chakra that the tailed beast have. Naruto finished his notes and decided to look on the other books to find out more about the Jubi and the Rinnegan. Finding no more important information, he decided to call a librarian and told her he was finished reading. "Do you have any more books about the Jubi and the Rinnegan's final form?" he asked, making the librarian assistant widen her eyes. "I am not sure, Naruto-sama. Those books I presented to you were the only ones I know of that were related to those topics. But I'll look for other books for you. Although I should tell you not to expect." "Okay, thank you, miss. I guess I'll return here tomorrow and see if you find anything. Also, can I take this home with me?" Naruto asked, presenting her a book about Konoha and the Kyubi. "Of course, Naruto-sama. Just sign here and be sure to return it in 3 days." Naruto signed on the book borrower's list and was given a seal. "This seal will glow when your 3-day time limit have been consumed and will remind you to return it here." "Thank you. I'll be sure to return it." The woman nodded as the young heir walked off back to the mansion. Naruto was back inside his room and immediately read the book about Konoha and the Kyubi. The Kyubi's second and former Jinchuriki was Kushina Uzumaki, a kunoichi from Uzushigakure that is now destroyed. The Kyubi managed to escape during its host's giving birth. Jinchuriki seals were known to become weakened whenever the host is pregnant, and is weakest when giving birth. Someone unknown managed to enter Kushina Uzumaki's secret labor room that day and tried to interfere, therefore unleashing the Kyubi out the woman. The unknown assailant immediately left when he realized that the demon had gotten away. 16 years after, the Kyubi made its reappearance to Konoha by attacking it. After destroying a percentage of the village and killing many, Konoha managed to reseal it inside a human being. It was the Yandame Hokage who did the sealing. Using the Shiki Fujin, or the dead demon-consuming seal, he sealed the demon inside a newborn child. The process cost the Yandame's life, and the Sandame was forced to resume his position as Hokage. Naruto immediately stopped reading and felt his heart beating fast. He was also shaking as memories came back to him. Die! Demon, you killed our Yandame Hokage. Jinchuriki, or human sacrifices, are the vessels of the tailed beasts. They are often despised by their villages because of their power, and in fear of them releasing the beast sealed inside them. Jinchurikis normally lead an awful life, and most of them live their lives in seclusion. Naruto-kun, forgive me as well, it was my fault. I was the one who sealed. He sealed the demon inside a newborn child. The process cost the Yandame's life. The boy was now crying as realization hit him. Now he knew why Konoha hated him. The boy cried even more as past events back in Konoha returned to his mind and started to haunt him. He remembered every beating and torture he endured during his prison in that village. For the first time, he felt sadness. For the first time, he felt anger. For the first time, he wanted to hurt someone so badly. He wanted his revenge on those who did bad things to him. His blood began to boil as bad memories continued to haunt him. He began losing the capability of thinking rationally as his mind became clouded, and he felt hellbent on killing a lot of people. The only thing that his mind was telling him was to kill. Yuzuki's office. The Yuzukage was talking to the council and was briefing them of the events earlier. She was just telling them about Tsunagekyou's approval to send the Kazekage's children to Yuzushio when she felt a huge chakra spike. Everyone's eyes in the room widened as they recognized the chakra. The chakra was pure evil, and huge waves of it were being sent and radiated throughout the village. Kushina and Minato immediately realized what was happening. Is that? Murmured by one of the council members. Naruto-kun. The parents shouted as they felt an even bigger demonic blast of chakra wave. Everyone in the village stopped what they were doing as they felt waves of demonic chakra coming from the Yuzukage mansion. Immediately members of Storm appeared everywhere, telling and guiding the villagers to head to the underground bunkers immediately. Uchiha Madara, the voice shouted as they saw a figure of a child quickly change into a figure of a fox. Soon it grew bigger as a skeleton formed. Next the skeleton formed flesh, and in a few moments, the Kyubi no Yoko once again stood in its full glory and might. Once again, everyone stopped dead on their tracks on what they have heard. It was also the first time they heard a tailed beast speak, or rather shout. Konoha! You will pay! Burn! Rohea. The fox roared as it made its way away from the village and headed off to the direction of Konoha. In another part of the village, shinobi gathered around their Yuzukage and waited for her orders. Let Tobi help! Let Tobi help! For Tobi is a good boy! Someone shouted. Everyone turned and saw the former Yuzukage walking on their direction with a masked man who was jumping frantically. Let Tobi help! Tobi knows what to do! The masked man said as everyone stared at him and widened their eyes in shock. The man had his Sharingan on, and it looked different from the normal ones. A Sharingan? Who is this man? Why is he with Arashi-sama? Why does he have a Sharingan? What is an Uchiha doing here? Why does his Sharingan look different? Is that the Mangekyo's Sharingan? Most of the shinobi thought to themselves as they stared in confusion at the weird man. Tobi, no. Get away from here. If he sees you, he will no doubt attack you. I cannot risk you dying. The Kyubi stopped its march as it sensed a familiar presence. Its eyes searched the village and rested on the spot where a huge number of shinobi were gathered. Yukahaeya. Roruruer, this is not good. He has sensed you. The former Yuzukage told his companion as the Kyubi let out an angry roar. Oh shit! The bad fox has sensed Tobi. Tobi must run now, because if he does not, Tobi is going to die. The masked man screamed at the top of his lungs as he darted off away from harm while waving his arms in the air. What the fuck? Most of the shinobi who were watching shouted in their heads. They immediately regained composure and stood in attention, waiting for orders. To-sama. The Yuzukage regarded her father. What are we going to do? We cannot just attack it as it might hurt my Naruchan. Keep it away from the village. Lead it to the shorelines. I want sealing barriers waiting there and already set up to keep the Kyubi from going outside our protective seals. It will eventually lose steam and Naruto-kun will regain consciousness. Trust in Naruto-kun. I'm sure he will be able to control the Kyubi. Now go! Everyone nodded as all of them headed for the shorelines. Minato went after the Kyubi to lure it or to harass it to the beach to keep the village from getting destroyed. To-sama. Who was that man? Why did he have a Mangekyo Sharingan? What was he doing with you? And why is he like that? Did he hit his head or something? Tobi is a good boy. I'll tell you about him later. Erasure chuckled as they followed to the shorelines. Minato's POV. Minato immediately went after the masked man to assist. He rushed past the Kyubi and got to Tobi. Tobi, we need to lure the Kyubi to the shorelines. The others are setting a trap there and away from the village. The masked man stared at Minato in surprise as he was addressed. He then got over it and nodded. Tobi is going to lure the bad fox to the trap. Because Tobi is a good boy. Tobi is a good boy. Minato nodded as they went to the shorelines. The good news, the village was safe from being damaged by the Kyubi. The bad news, Minato was recognized by the Kyuubi and it also went after him. You! It was you! It was you who sealed me / the Kyuubi inside me! The Kyuubi roared. Minato noticed the two voices. Me? How did my son know? Did someone tell him? You and Kachan left me to suffer in Konoha. You let them take me. Now I know why everyone treated me so badly. It was you who did it. I know you are an Uchiha. I can see your fucking eye. You are related to that bastard who controlled me. I'm going to kill you! / you left me alone. It roared as two personalities were trying to overpower each other and speak. This is all your fault. It roared and cried at the same time. Minato could hear the anguish in its voice. He was certain now of his son knowing everything. But how he found out, he did not have any idea. Normal POV. Everyone in the village could hear its ramblings. They felt quite sorry as they knew the youngest heir was somehow conscious and was currently feeling a lot pain and hurt in his heart. Kushina heard her son through the Kyuubi and also felt heartbroken. Her Naruchan blamed them for what happened to him. Of course he had every right to be angry at them as she knew she should have looked for her son when he was kidnapped. Minato felt his heart like it was being squeezed. He felt very guilty for being the cause of his son's awful life in Konoha. Both parents blamed themselves for what has and what was currently happening to their son. They felt how much hurt he was. Minato stumbled and thankfully Toby was able to catch him. The masked man helped him run towards the shoreline. They were almost near. They reached their destination and Toby guided the blonde and let the man hug his wife. This is all my fault, Minato and Kushina both said as they bowed their heads low and cried in shame. The former Yuzukage, seeing how broken his daughter and his son-in-law at the moment, took charge. Here it comes! Arisha roared. The Kyuubi found its target and let out another roar. It went at them charging fast. Seal, hi, Uzumaki style, enclosure of the 5 elements. All of the shinobi roared as they activated the trap. 5 different beams of chakra shot to the sky and immediately connected to each other, and formed a pentagonal prism, and held the demon fox inside. The Kyuubi tried to run past it but found it could not. It roared in frustration and charged at the barrier. The ground shook as the barrier stood still and the Kyuubi no Yoko remained inside. It continued to rampage inside its cage and tried to escape. Naruto's mindscape. Naruto was hunched into a ball and was still crying. He stopped crying for a moment as he felt cold and thought he heard his cries echoed. He looked up and found himself inside an enclosed forest. He felt scared as he had no idea how he got there. Where am I? He sniffled as he walked around the forest trying to find another life form. He saw a pathway and followed it. He walked for about what seemed to be 10 minutes and finally saw a clearing. At the far end he saw a golden cage that seemed to be 70 feet high and 100 feet wide. On its gate was a red tag with the kanji for seal on it. What was the only thing he said as he marveled at the huge cage? Hello? Is anybody here? So my jailer finally graces me with his presence. A booming voice said. Naruto jumped in fear as he was startled and found the voice dark and heavy. Who's there? He nervously asked as he heard footsteps approaching. His voice was lost as he was now staring at a giant fox with 9 tails. The fox slowly roared as its tails went swishing around. The light of the cage illuminated the fox, allowing the boy to watch it in its glory. Be beautiful. Wow, you are so beautiful and awesome. Naruto squealed in amazement. He had stars in his eyes as he stared at the fox with an adoring look. The Kyuubi stopped trying to intimidate the boy and was now very confused on how he was acting. He tilted its head and examined the boy. Naruto found the fox more adorable as it tilted its head in confusion. Beautiful? You find me awesome. The great and fearsome Kyuubi no Yoko is found beautiful and awesome by a 5-year-old boy and is not even intimidated at all. Look at him, everyone, he's got stars in his eyes. The Kyuubi said as it sighed, totally forgetting about trying to intimidate the boy, seeing it was useless. But you really are beautiful. You look magnificent with your tails swishing around. It's freaking awesome, he said as he unconsciously entered the cage. The boy tried to touch the fox while it growled menacingly at him. Naruto failed to notice it as he was too starstruck with the Kyuubi. You are an odd human, did you know that? It asked him softly. The intimidating voice gone. Now replaced by a warm and beautiful voice. What the dash? Naruto said as he watched the Kyuubi slowly shrunk. Soon he was staring at a beautiful woman with long red hair and red, captivating eyes. Did you just? The boy stuttered. His eyes widened as he noticed the woman was not wearing anything. You're. The boy did not finish his sentence as he fainted. His cheeks were red from blushing. Now that's cute, the vixen commented as she picked up the boy and walked to a nearby tree. She sat down and rested the boy's head on her lap. I'm not getting dressed if he keeps fainting like this. He must imagine me wearing clothes first. This is his mindscape after all. She muttered to herself as she waited for the boy to regain consciousness. Mug. What dash? Naruto shouted as he realized he cannot see. Relax. It's just my hand. I'm covering your eyes. You will probably faint again if you saw me. Now, imagine me clothed before I let you see again. Oh. Okay, Naruto said as he imagined the woman clothed. Whoa, wait. Not orange. I'm fine with a simple white kimono. Not your orange jumpsuit, huh? But you said to imagine you clothed. Yeah, I did. But not orange. It's horrible. It doesn't complement my hair. Pfft. Okay, now that's better. Thank you, the woman said as she let the boy see again. The boy took in his surroundings and realized he was resting his head on the woman's lap. She was now wearing a white kimono as he imagined. Okay, so wow. You are a female? I didn't know that. That's awesome, I guess. But the question is, who are you really? Me? I thought you already figured it out. I'm the Kyuubi no Yoko. I know that already. But who are you? What is your name? You cannot just be the Kyuubi. Yeah, sure, you are the fox with 9 tails. But that's just your title, right? You got to have a name. So what is your name? You really are an odd one. You are the first human who asked for my name. What? So people just referred to you as the Kyuubi and I Yoko? The woman sadly nodded. The boy went to a sitting position and hugged her. It's okay. You can tell me your name, the blonde said as he showed the redhead one of his foxy grins. The woman finally smiled. You are a good person. I can see it in you. Well, I've been living with you ever since you were born, so yeah? Should I tell you my name? You seem polite enough, so I guess it won't hurt telling you my name, and since you asked so nicely, Kurama. My name's Kurama. She smiled at the boy warmly. Nice to meet you, Kurama-chan. I'm Naruto. Kurama just smiled and nodded. Can I ask you something? You already did. But sure. Ask. How did I get here? Where am I? You do not know? Oh, right. This is your first time. We are inside your mindscape. You see, your pent-up negative emotions finally reached its limit, and you sort of exploded. Right now, you have achieved my 9-tailed fox form and are currently rampaging. What? The boy asked, horrified. How do I stop? I need to wake up. There's nothing you can do. You need to let it all out. If you don't, then you will die. I am also the embodiment of hate, you see. One of my powers is detecting negative emotions. You have lots. And so do I. Both our anger, sadness, and resentment have combined and ultimately caused you to lose consciousness while your body transformed into the Kyuubi. The boy just sadly nodded. Great. Now Yuzushiogakure will also think of me as a demon. They will treat me just like Konoha. I don't think they will. You see, your parents and your village loves you. They understand your pain. It is just normal for a person to let loose from time to time, she said as she heard his thoughts. How? We are in your mindscape. I can hear what you are saying in your head. Oh, what are you feeling at the moment? Sad? Betrayed? Kurama just nodded, encouraging the boy to talk more. Although I try to forgive them, in the back of my mind, I just can't. They abandoned me. And now that I know why Konoha hated me, I blame my father for everything. The redhead felt guilty. She felt she was the bane of his existence. I'm sorry. This is all my fault. No. It is not your fault. I do not blame you for what's happened to me, the boy told her sternly. What? But, something tells me you two were just also a victim. I do not know how. But I can tell you are innocent. I do not blame you for being sealed inside me. Why you don't? Kurama felt like she wanted to cry and hug the boy. Of course not. You are my friend after all. I trust in you. All you have to do is prove it. Friend? You consider me your friend. Of course we are friends. Now I knew it was you who kept me from dying. I haven't thanked you for that yet, so thank you. Thank you for keeping me alive. Thank you for healing me. Thank you for being with me. Kurama felt speechless. The boy didn't hate her being sealed inside him. Nor he didn't blame her for what's happened to him. He did the opposite. Naruto thanked her for being with him. We will be here for a while. You have a lot of anger to let out. So I would like to show you something. I think it's the least I can do. And since you asked for it, I'm proving my innocence to you. I know you are a good person, Kurama-chan. Naruto smiled at her. Kurama did not miss the person and the chan suffix. He is treating me like an equal, like a person himself. He really is different from most humans. She thought to herself as she nodded to Naruto. Let me take you back to the time when Yuzushiogakure and Konohagakure was newly founded. Anime style, flashback no jutsu, newly founded Konoha. My friend, there is no need for violence. We can just ask them to ally with us. Hashirama, they rival us in power. Some say that their clan is even stronger than both our clans combined. They must be destroyed before they get stronger. Madara, your judgment is being clouded. Think this over. I will talk to you again once you have cooled down, Hashirama said as he walked away. No. Not you too. Why does everyone contradict me? Even my clansman does not even listen to me anymore. 2 hours later, Uchiha compound. My brethren, we must revolt. I already told you before that the Senju will someday overthrow us. This so-called peace is temporary, Madara said before his whole clan. We cannot do that. We have been warring with the Senju for 100 years. Now that they have called for our battles to a stop, we cannot just go back to our former state. We cannot let them reign forever. It should have been us who leads Konoha, but we do lead Konoha with the Senju. No, we don't. It should have been me, and Uchiha, who became the Shodaime Hokage. There is a reason why we Uchihas, your own clansmen, voted for Hashirama for the position of the Shodaime. The Senju wants peace, while you want war. But we Uchihas also want peace. There will be no peace forever. Just so you know, Hashirama plans on allying with the Uzumaki clan. If that happens, they will be stronger. And our clan will be oppressed in the future. You are being paranoid, Madara. No, I am not. I just want what is best for the clan. Let us say we agreed to revolt. Then what? The Senju allies with the Uzumaki. The Uzumaki clan is far stronger than both Senju and Uchiha clans combined. We challenge both clans, and then the Uchiha will be slaughtered. We do not stand a chance at all. You will only lead our clan to an end. Madara was feeling down by his clansmen more and more. But he still tried to convince them. My people, you forget that we have eyes that can take down a whole nation. We do have a chance to defeat them. For we have this. Madara proclaimed as he flared them his Manjikyu Sharingan. We do have the Manjikyu Sharingan, yes. But we still do not stand a chance against the Uzumaki. They are direct descendants of the Rikudo Sennin. I would not be surprised if the Uzumaki clan wielded the Rinnegan. That is only a myth. It has not been proven by anyone. Nobody alive has ever seen the Rinnegan. Only the Six Paths himself wielded it. The Uchiha clan will discover about the Uzumaki clan's Rinnegan, if they really do wield it, in terms of peace, rather than see the Rinnegan used by them in battle. We are not going anywhere with this. This meeting is pointless. We will not revolt. We will keep our peace with the Senju. We will not wish for our clan to be put to a meaningless slaughter. Uchiha Madara tried to convince his clan every 2 consecutive days. But his clan still would not listen to him. Finally, he gave up on his third attempt to talk to them. A week after his last talk with Hashirama, Madara finally decided to leave the village. He cut his ties with the Uchiha clan and Konoha. Since nobody would listen to him, he made plans on destroying both the Senju and the Uzumaki. He felt betrayed by his own clan, and so he hated his clansmen for it. They too will pay for their insubordination. He was the Uchiha clan head. But they no longer listened to him. Madara had been a missing nin for 2 weeks now. Back in Konoha, the Shodaime Hokage, Senju Hashirama, had begun his negotiations with the head of the Uzumaki clan. The negotiations were almost complete, and soon Yuzushiogakure will be allied to Konohagakure. Meanwhile, Madara finally found a way to annihilate both clans. He was wandering off while training and stopped on a nearby cave to take some rest. He then heard low growling sounds inside the cave. He went to inspect and found the thing Hashirama had failed to find. Madara found the Kyuubi no Yoko. He watched the giant 9-tailed beast sleeping peacefully. Who would have thought I would be the one to find it? And to think that no one ever did when it is inside the fire country's borders. Madara thought to himself as he applied chakra on his eyes and activated his Sharingan. The Kyuubi felt an intruding presence and opened its eyes. Its eyes found a man with long black hair wearing a red battle armor and a gourd-like battle staff on his back. The man had red eyes with 3 tomos on it, so an Uchiha graces me with his presence. The Kyuubi muttered, "On this day forth, I am going to be your new master. Don't make me kill you. Leave now while I'm still feeling merciful. You are the one who is going to be in my mercy." The Kyuubi rose and angrily roared at the intruder. The audacity of the man. How dare him? It took in the man's features and memorized it. Know your place, demon. Remember this. I, Uchiha Madara, am your master, Manjikyu Sharingan. Kodo Amatsukami. The last thing the Kyuubi remembered seeing before it lost consciousness was a pair of red eyes with a star-like formation on it. The 3 tomos evolved. Go to Yuzushiogakure and destroy the Uzumaki clan. When you are done, attack Konohagakure next. Madara commanded the Kyuubi through his thoughts. The Kyuubi roared and left the cave, heading out to comply his master's command. Nuh! I cannot be controlled by a mere human. The Kyuubi thought as it tried to fight, but its mind and body won't respond, and it still moved to follow the Uchiha's orders. Later that night, Yuzushiogakure, Mito Uzumaki, the Shodaime Uzukage, was awake and was watching over her village when she felt an evil presence. Something, or someone with a very huge chakra was approaching fast. Mito alerted the village and called for her subordinates. I can sense something with a very huge chakra approaching fast. Alert the village and escort everyone to the safe houses. I want every shinobi available follow me to the shorelines. We will meet the intruder there. Hi! Soon the sounds of the sirens woke the whole village and genins escorted them to safety. The higher-ups went after their Uzukage to assist. As they were preparing, they heard a very loud and angry roar. What the hell was that? Uzushio shorelines. Mito Uzumaki stared at the sea as she felt the huge chakra signature approaching fast. Soon she saw a giant fox with 9 tails. Raya! What the hell? The shinobi that gathered shouted in unison. Is that the Kyuubi? Don't let it get past the shorelines. It must not reach the village. The Uzukage ordered. Sealing teams, here it comes. Sealing teams, get ready. Uzumaki style. Enclosure of the 5 elements. The shinobi roared as they trapped the Kyuubi. Hold still. It's going to break free. Aya! The people screamed as the Kyuubi shook the ground. It thrashed wildly inside its trap, causing some of its captors to lose balance. It's out. Battle formation! Wah! They screamed in pain as they were swatted like flies. It's charging to the village! Everyone, clear the way. You have done your duty. Leave the battle to me. Mito Uzumaki told her shinobi as her eyes turned purple and ring patterns formed on it. Everyone immediately got out of the way as they realized what their Yuzukage was about to do. Bansho Tenin, the Yuzukage said as she raised her arms forward and opened her hands showing her palms. An invisible force forced the Kyuubi to stop its charge. It roared in anger as it was halfway dragged and floated back to the shorelines. Everyone watched the battle in amazement as the Kyuubi was dragged towards their Yuzukage. Their leader sidestepped as the Kyuubi neared her to avoid getting hit. It hovered above their Yuzukage for a moment before she called on another jutsu. Shinra Tensei. The Kyuubi was sent back crashing to the sea. Mito went after it, and quickly made hand seals. I will not let you destroy my village, she declared as she finished her seals. Senpo Myojinmen, Sage Art, Gate of the Great God, Seal Head. A huge red torii fell down from the heavens and pinned the Kyuubi's neck to the ground. Seal 10. 10 more tories fell down and landed on each tail, the last landing on top of its body. The Kyuubi was now pinned to the seafloor and unable to move. Uzumaki Secret, Blood Seal, Double Hexagonal Consuming Seal. 6 pillars appeared forming a hexagonal prism trapping the Kyuubi inside. Another prism appeared and connected to the Yuzukage. The Kyuubi was slowly sucked by the hexagon and was transferred to the other that was connected to the Yuzukage. It gave one last hateful roar before it got completely sealed inside the woman. If you use your power, only hatred will come from it. Stay tranquil deep inside me, Mito told the beast that was now sealed inside her as she headed back to the shore. The scene became disrupted and abruptly ended. Flashback end. Whoa. What happened? Why did we stop? Something has happened outside that interrupted us. Outside the mindscape, the Naruto transformed into Kyuubi was still rampaging inside the pentagonal trap. The ground shook as it attempted to get out. Arashi-sama, it's going to break free. Why do I feel like this is a déjà vu? The former Yuzukage thought as his eyes changed color and became purple. Kushina looked at the former Yuzukage in time and realized what her father was about to do. Tu-san. Please don't. You're going to hurt Naruto-kun. The barrier shattered and before the Kyuubi could realize it was free again, Kushina rushed in front of it. Kushina! Yuzukage-sama! Everyone shouted in concern as they watched the woman rush to the Kyuubi. Naruto-kun, please. Please come back. Come back to us. Please come back to Kachan. She sobbed and begged to the creature in front of her. Everyone nervously watched their Yuzukage as she was completely vulnerable. The Kyuubi also stopped thrashing and stared at the woman in front of it. Kachan, it growled lowly. Naruto's mindscape. Kurama and Naruto watched what was happening outside through their minds. It would seem that you are starting to calm down now, Kachan. We'll continue watching the memories later. Outside Naruto's mindscape. Kachan, it repeated. And then it roared angrily. Why you abandoned me? You left me in the hands of Konoha. Naruto-kun, I'm so sorry, his mother sobbed as she fell to her knees. Please come back to us. Let us fix our mistakes, Minato said as he appeared beside Kushina. Naruto-kun, Kushina still wept. It felt like an hour, but only 3 minutes have passed before the cubified Naruto finally calmed down. Its body released steam as it slowly shrunk. A few more minutes passed. They were now staring at a blonde child with his skin very bloody. The boy's skin also released steam as it got healed and returned to normal. Naruto-kun! Minato and Kushina shouted as they both rushed to catch their son. Kushina quickly took her son and cradled him to her arms. Naruto-kun, I'm so sorry, Kushina murmured as she stood up carrying her son's unconscious form. The parents now noticed their son was still clutching a book. Minato took the book from the boy and inspected it. He found out it was a book about Konoha when the Kyuubi attacked. So this is how he found out. I thought someone told him. He figured it out by himself. Minato murmured and showed the book to his wife. Let us go back to the village, Kushina told him. She then turned to her shinobi and addressed them. Return to the village and inspect for damages. Half of you remain here and check the village's protective seals. See if there are any leaks. Hi! Minato vanished in a flash of yellow and now stood behind Tobi, a kunai on the masked man's neck. Ack. Let Tobi go. Tobi is a good boy. Minato, calm down. He is not that man, Erasure told him. We'll explain everything about him later. The blonde let him go and put his kunai back in his pouch. The 4 people plus 1 unconscious child went back to the village, back to Naruto's mindscape. Hello Kurama-chan, welcome back Naruto. Now let us continue. Flashback no jutsu. 18 years ago, outside Konoha. Secret location. Yeah, push. I can see the head. Waha. Both Minato and Kushina shouted. Minato shouted in pain as his wife gripped his hand while Kushina screamed on giving birth. A little more, push. I'm going to kill you, Minato. This is your fault. Kill him later. Push. She's almost out, the midwife said as Minato paled even more. One last push. You. A small voice cried. My baby? Kushina cried. Narumi-chan, she murmured. Minato massaged his hand and went to his wife's side. But before he could, he felt an incoming presence. What a loving family, a voice said. Everyone turned and saw a masked man with his eyes visible. He wielded the Sharingan. How unfortunate would it be if someone killed her, the man said as he appeared beside Kushina and grabbed the baby. He threw it across the room. No! Minato rushed to catch his daughter. Aya! Minato was able to catch his daughter and held her. He turned and saw the man pressing his wife's stomach, making her scream in pain. Roarer! The Kyuubi! It's going to break free, Kushina! Wake up! You need to keep it inside! Minato frantically shouted to his wife, who was now unconscious. You bastard! How dare you try to kill my granddaughter? The midwife roared in anger, as she immediately appeared behind the man and punched him with her superhuman strength. The man was sent flying into the wall, and the wall got blasted away as the man collided with it. He had no choice but to battle with the angry woman. Meanwhile, the room was already collapsing because of the ongoing battle. Minato still carried Narumi in his arms while the nurses helped move Kushina's bed out of the room. They cannot do anything about the Kyuubi now, as the Jinchuriki was unconscious. They rushed back to Konoha's gates and was immediately helped. Minato! What happened? A pale man appeared. Orochimaru-sensei. A masked man appeared after Kushina gave birth. He released the Kyuubi from her seal. He is now battling with Tsunade-sama. I'm going to assist my teammate. Take care of the two, Minato. Orochimaru arrived at the birthing place and found it destroyed, turned into a battlefield. He just arrived in time to keep his teammate from being killed. The masked man was about to finish of his teammate, Siniai Tajashu. Multiple striking shadow snakes, he shouted as snakes shot out of his arm and attacked the masked man. The mask got hit in the neck and was thrown away from the woman. He was unable to dodge since his body was all banged up. He had multiple cuts and multiple broken bones. You are lucky today, Konoha. I will return. The masked man proclaimed as he vanished in space. Tsunade. The pale man rushed to his teammate. My daughter, Kushina, my granddaughter, Narumi promised me keep them safe, the woman told Orochimaru before she lost consciousness. Orochimaru carried his teammate and rushed her to the hospital. The Kyuubi ended up escaping during the battle. It turned out that it was under control by the masked man but lost control of it when he battled the very angry midwife. Tsunade, because of the man messing up with technique, the Soza Sensei, ended up in a coma. The doctors were able to identify that her body was forced to do and undo the kinjutsu multiple times before she got her chakra drained, making both her mind and body very weak and put in a death-like state. 14 years later, Konoha, Hokage's office. Minato! You cannot just leave Konoha. You are the Hokage. But Sarutobi! Uzushiogakure is under attack. I need to go to my family. He tried to argue to the old man, but he just got out of the room. Don't worry about it, Minato. I'll convince Sensei. You may stay here. Thank you, Orochimaru-sensei. Minato said as Orochimaru went after Sarutobi to convince him and gather reinforcements to send to Uzushio. Outside the office. Sensei. We need to help our allies. No. We'll only get on the way. The reinforcements we'll send will be killed. There are too many enemies. We won't stand a chance, but they are our allies. No. What the hell is wrong with you, Sensei? You know what? I don't care. I'm going to Uzushiogakure with or without your help. I'm going to assist our allies. Orochimaru yelled as he stormed off. Sarutobi just watched the pale man walk away. We cannot let him waste his life for those people. They will be all dead before this day ends. Said a new voice. Danzo. Order your root to stop my student from leaving. As you wish. The war hawk nodded as he signaled for his hidden root members. A root A and BU appeared in front of them, kneeling. Danzo-sama. Sarutobi-sama. Fugaku-san has arrived with the child. Good. Take us to him. Outside Fire Country. The masked man who attacked and vanished 14 years ago had already made a full recovery. He went on the lookout for the Kyuubi and was able to find it after searching for years. And so we meet again. You. I'm going to kill you. I am your master. You will follow my orders. Raya. Manjikyu Sharingan. Kodo Amatsukami. Nuh. Not again. Become a useful servant demon. Go to Konoha and destroy it. 6 hours later, Kanahegakure. Ruahayar. Ayayawiawa. The Konoha shinobi screamed before they died. Some were crushed by the Kyuubi's paws, some were killed by claws. Some died getting bit, cut in half, and bled to death. 100 bodies now lay dead on the streets while buildings were on fire. The populace was losing morale and many were starting to give up. Root base, we will use this child. This thing will be our future weapon. He will be able to survive the process. He is an Uzumaki just like the Kyuubi's previous Jinchurikis. Let us talk to Minato about using the Shiki Fujin. His sacrifice will be for Konoha. And we will finally get rid of that man, Fugaku. Cast a genjutsu on this child so Minato would not recognize it. Ironic if he agrees to it. He will seal a demon to his own son. Orochimaru is still locked up in prison. Even if he manages to escape, it will be too late to save his precious student. Konoha Forests. The shinobi were able to drive the Kyuubi away from the village. They regained hope when their Yandame Hokage finally showed up. Kuchios no Jutsu. What the hell did you call me for, you brat? I demand 100 human sacrifice for this. Manda! I need your help. Why the hell am I sitting on top of the Kyuubi? Don't argue. Just help me here, damn it. Minato! The only way to defeat the Kyuubi is to seal it inside a human. Use this child. What? Whose child is this? We do not know. A woman just gave this child to us a few minutes ago. She said the child's an Uzumaki survivor from the attack. Survivor? What of my family? I'm sorry, Minato. Orochimaru managed to persuade me and we sent reinforcements after we talked. But they too were killed. The woman told us this child is the last Uzumaki alive. The blonde Hokage froze in horror and grief. The child before him was the last Uzumaki alive. His family was dead. He was the only one left. He immediately fell into depression. The Sandaime and the War Hawk used his depression to manipulate him. We are very sorry for your loss, Minato. That sounds suspicious. That Gaki looks exactly like Minato. Didn't he have a newborn son? What if that's him? Yes, the child's got to be his son. The boss snake thought as he was not affected by the genjutsu that was cast on the child by Uchiha Fugaku. It is the only way, Minato. My family is gone, who will I live for now? The blonde Hokage asked. Completely lost, Manjikyu Sharingan Fugaku whispered. Seal the Kyuubi inside this child. Minato just blankly nodded and took the infant. Oh brat. What are you doing? You can't just seal the Kyuubi into your own son. How did that snake know? We cannot let that thing hinder our plans. That snake needs to be dismissed. It will only interfere with our plans. Danzo thought as he glanced at Fugaku, signaling him to do something. Minato. Dismiss your summon. The blonde Hokage just nodded as he dismissed Manda. Something is wrong here. Why are Minato's eyes blank? Is he under control? Shit! He is. The snake thought. Before he could try and wake his summoner, Minato dismissed him. Good. Now seal the Kyuubi inside your son. Muahahaha, Shiki Fujin. Nuh! I'm not getting sealed again. The Kyuubi angrily thought as it regained consciousness from being controlled by the masked man. The Shinigami appeared and did the ritual. The Kyuubi was sealed inside the child. Just as when it was about to drag Minato's soul, the man regained consciousness. Ugh. What happened? Wait, why is the Shinigami here? Oh, Kami-sama, I sealed the Kyuubi inside that innocent child. He thought as he got the memories earlier while he was being controlled. He sealed the Kyuubi inside an innocent child. But there was nothing he can do now. Sarutobi. I want this child to be treated as a hero. I want him to be treated by Konoha as a hero. He is the one who defeated the Kyuubi. That is my final wish as Hokage. Minato told the old man as his soul was dragged to the stomach of the Shinigami. Flashback end. Naruto was speechless after watching the memories. Naruto, are you alright? The boy was once again crying. Kurama tried to comfort the boy and hugged him. Sure. It's alright. You've been controlled. And my dad too. And my family was betrayed by who they believed their allies. I didn't know. And I was angry at them. Now they probably hate me for what I've told them earlier. Your parents won't be angry at you. They understand your pain. They love you. How? What do you mean? How were you able to do it? You said you were the embodiment of hate. But you do not look hateful. How did you overcome it? I am not really sure. There is something in you. Before you got here, I always thought of murdering you the first time you visit me. But when I saw you, I just felt a calming presence. It felt so warm and friendly and full of life. I don't understand. I was inside you. I saw everything you've been through. But you still kept moving forward. I think it is your happy and positive personality. Your forgiving side? I don't understand. I am not actually happy. That was just a mask. I hated Konoha for what they did. I hated myself for not being able to defend myself. I hated my parents for abandoning me. That was your other side. You see, everyone has two sides. The bright side and the dark side. Your past experiences in life put you through a lot. And most were bad. It has piled up and your dark side is showing has overpowered you with my dark side combined. Our negative feelings and emotions piled up high and merged, causing you to channel my dark side's chakra and transform into Kyuubi. How do we overpower it? How can we not filled with hate? Love, Naruto. It's love. Let me tell you something I've heard from your great-great-grandmother, Mito Uzumaki. When she was too old and needed to transfer me into another vessel, she told your mother this: we came here to be the vessels of the Ninetales, but before that, we must find love and fill the vessel with it. When your mother became Jinchuriki, she was always able to suppress my rage. She always fought my dark side. I'm not comparing her to you, okay? I just want you to understand the power of love. Naruto, you have a lot of people around you who loves you dearly. Use it. Make it your power. Your motivation. Remember what you told your parents? You wanted to become a shinobi so that you could protect those who are precious to you. That is love, Naruto. Having someone to protect will drive you to become stronger. I see. Love, the boy whispered. He was still trying to comprehend what Kurama told him. They were silent for a few minutes. Kurama-chan. You are innocent. What? You are innocent. You did not mean to attack Yuzushio and Kanehigakure. You were controlled by that time. Yes, I was. But humans thought I attacked them on my own will. I will tell them you did not. I will tell them you were controlled. I am going to prove your innocence, Kurama-chan. You would really do that? Of course. We are friends, right? Friends? Oh, okay. Yay. We are friends. The boy cheered. Thank you for sharing with me those memories, Kurama-chan. I'm going to take a rest now. I feel like my head's going to explode. The boy tried to excuse himself as he felt troubled by his transformation earlier. Kurama did not notice the boy's conflicted look. Come visit me again whenever you feel like it. You're always welcome here. Having you around makes me feel good and warm. Will do, Kurama-chan. The boy said as he vanished. You may be just like father. He treated us tailed beasts as beings and not some evil creations. You understand our feelings just like the Rakudo Sennin. I will expect great things from you, Naruto-kun. Kurama thought as smiled to herself. Outside Naruto's mindscape, a day had already passed since the cubified Naruto rampaged. He was still bedridden, and his parents were now worried. They haven't left their son's side since yesterday and forgot about interrogating Toby the good boy for now. Minato-kun, he still hasn't awakened. Naruto-kun will be fine. Our son is strong. He is just resting. I believe that was the first time he got access to the Kyuubi's chakra. And he did transform into the Kyuubi itself. Just then they heard their son whimpering. No. Please. Please don't hurt me. It was an accident. The boy cried as he rolled in his sleep. Please, I did not mean it. Don't be like Konoha. I am not a demon, Naruto-kun. Kushina immediately rushed beside her son and hugged him. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. Please don't hurt me. The boy continued to cry in his sleep while he shook his head. Naruto-kun, please wake up. That is not true. We do not hate you. Please wake up. Kushina said as she gently shook her son, trying to wake him. Naruto woke up from his nightmare and realized his mother was hugging him. Ka-chan. Tu-chan. The boy said weakly. His parents looked at him and found him finally awake, but he looked very miserable. Naruto-kun. SHHHH. It's okay, don't cry. I'm sorry. I did not mean to get angry. I'm sorry. Please don't hate me. The boy begged as he cried to his mother. It's okay, Nara-chan. We understand. We do not hate you for what happened. I was angry at you at everyone. But I did not understand and I did not know the truth. But now I know. I'm sorry. His parents were a bit confused with his words but decided to ask him about it later. Sure. It's alright, Sochi-kun. Ka-chan loves you. Tu-chan loves you. Your siblings love you. Yuzushio loves you. We know everything you have been through. We understand your pain and your pent-up anger. You will not be hated for transforming into Kyuubi. It is normal for a person to be angry and explode at one point. You have been through a lot. Love, Naruto whispered. Yes, Naruto-kun. Love. We love you, Nara-chan. Kushina said as she kissed her son's forehead. Naruto nodded and later fell asleep again. He's still tired. Kushina-chan, I'll be going out for now. I need to speak with the council. His wife nodded and he left his son's room. Kushina laid her son to the bed and cuddled with him. Soon she too fell asleep. Yuzushio council room. Report. Hi. Yuzuki-sama, the team that was sent to Takigakure has located the Nanabai Jinchuriki. They are now befriending the girl. They managed to enter the village and approach the girl with no problems at all. They told us to expect them back with her in about 3 to 5 days. Good. Any other news about possible allies? Yuzuki asked the council. None yet, Yuzuki-sama. We are still monitoring the minor nations. Although we are considering allying with Grass Country. One of them said. Yuzuki-sama. We have also considered Demon Country. Although it is at war at the moment. At war with whom? What country? Actually, they are at war with the demons that reside within their country. The current priestess, Moroku, has declared war against the Demon King, Morio, who's been freed once again. The Demon King has escaped his prison with the aid of some of his loyal followers by using some kind of dark medical jutsu. We believe that within 2 to 3 months, Morio will regain his full powers and will be able to resurrect his ghost army. This is not good. With the ghost army resurrected, even the 5 great nations will have trouble fighting them back. Yuzuki-sama, if I may ask, what is this ghost army? The ghost army is Morio's personal army. These warriors are made of stone and are very hard to defeat. They can sustain very heavy amounts of damage and can regenerate if ever it loses a part. We must provide assistance with Morio's sealing. The last time he was sealed, the priestess had to sacrifice herself. We cannot let the current priestess, Moroku, sacrifice herself like her mother and die. This current war could be beneficial for us. If we are to provide assistance, Oni no Kuni will be grateful to us. We will be able to easily establish an alliance with them. Indeed. The Yuzuki agreed. If I remember correctly, the current priestess have a daughter, right? Hi, Yuzuki-sama. The princess name is Cheyenne. She's near Naruto-sama's age. I will deal with the matter with Demon Country personally. I'm bringing my youngest son, Naruto, along with me. If I may ask, Yuzuki-sama, Why bring Naruto-sama with you? I have my faith in you, but don't you think he might get in the crossfire? Some of the council members asked. It would be great if the priestess daughter and my son develop a friendly relationship, so in the future, once Cheyenne inherits her mother's position, our alliance with them would still be secured. Also, I thank you for your concern with my son. But I believe he will be of great help when I come to Demon Country. You see, I intend on bringing Cheyenne here in Yuzukage for protection while the war with the demons are ongoing. With Naruto along, the priestess will be easier to convince bring her daughter here. We understand your point, Yuzukage-sama. That is indeed a great idea, thank you. Are there any news about Yuki no Kuni's missing princess? We still have no leads, Yuzukage-sama. I see. The team I planned on sending to Snow Country has been formed. I simply am waiting for our spies to give us the green signal. Yuzushiogakura's borders. 2 days ago, 3 young men were near the shore opposite Yuzushiogakure. They happened to be on that location as they were looking for someone who could heal their master who was in a coma. They looked to be only at around the age of 10 to 17, but were obviously not to be taken lightly as they were ANBU from Konohagakure. Torian-san? What is it? A young man with long auburn hair asked. He was wearing a light brown short kimono with a black sash, gray pants, and shinobi sandals. His kimono was covered by his jacket and had his katana out. My bugs are going frantic. They sense a familiar demonic chakra coming from the island opposite ours. Torian replied as he held out his hand while bugs swarmed frantically around him. This young man wore a black mask that covered his eyes and head. The skin that was only visible was his mouth and nose. This man was heavily clothed and wore purple gloves. He also wore a short jacket with red straps and carried a tanto on his back. Did your bug sense if this demonic creature has a huge? A pale boy with black hair asked. This young man was wearing a gray top that showed his stomach, and gray pants that matched his shirt. Like his 2 companions, he was also wearing a jacket with red straps and carried a tanto on his back. The pale boy's companion's sweat dropped. Man. What is it with Sai Taisha and? He couldn't be gay, could he? The 2 of them were currently thinking of the same thing. My bugs tell me they are not sure of the gender. Torian told his captain, Taicho, what are we going to do? We will investigate about it if it has a penis or not. We will also try to capture it. This could turn out to be a weapon for Konoha. Danzo-sama will be pleased with us if this chakra is from a tailed beast. Hi. The 2 replied. We will set up camp for now. Prepare to move tomorrow morning. Torian-san, have your bugs scout the area again. The masked man nodded as he held out his arms and 1,000 bugs came out from the inside of his clothing. The swarm immediately headed to the place. 2 days later, same time while council meeting is occurring. Taicho, my bugs could feel the demonic chakra lingering around this island. The chakra is indeed from a tailed beast. Taicho, I could see a road path ahead. Let's go. The 3 prepared to move but suddenly were surrounded by a dozen masked people. Each mask had the painting of a sea creature's head. Arrest them. A masked man with the painting of a shark's face pointed at the 3 unwanted visitors. The 3 readied themselves for a fight, but the leader of the group removed his mask, revealing purple eyes with ring patterns on it. The leader's companions also did the same, revealing eyes the same as their leader. Oh fuck. Torian said, we're fucking fucked. Fu agreed. The 2 watched nervously as they noticed their leader casually approached the man who wore the shark mask. Everybody's eyes nearly popped from their heads as the pale boy fondled with the leader's crotch. What the hell are you doing? The man said, feeling molested. I'm trying to feel you. You have a long, unlike my 2 comrades here. I am impressed. Sai commented. What are you doing? I said arrest them. 4 storms surrounded each of the strangers and apprehended them. Sai also tried to fondle with the other 3's private parts as he was surrounded. He managed to feel all 4 before he lost consciousness. I think I'm going to need therapy after this, the leader muttered while the other 3 agreed. Let's go back to base. Yuzushiogakure Storm Headquarters. Kid-sama. We found these 3 lurking around our borders. These guys are from Konoha. The storm commander commented as he saw the 3's Hitayatesh. I believe they are from Danzo's root organization. They are from another ANBU division. Bring them to the interrogation chamber. Hi, shark, squid, octopus, marlin. What happened to you 4? You look shaken. Those 3 couldn't have possibly done something to you, have they? The 4 were speechless as their faces went red in embarrassment and anger. Kid-sama, the pale boy fondled with their crotches and felt their sizes before they knocked him unconscious. One of the 12 said as he looked at his 4 companions, feeling sorry for them. This one was wearing a whale mask. What? The whale masked Storm then told his commander the exact story. That's totally outrageous. I never thought Danzo would have gay members among his little fan club. The Storm commander commented. I need to inform the Yuzukage about these 3 immediately. Send out more people near around our borders and check if there are more of them. They might have other companions waiting for them. Hi, this is bad. Has Konoha found about us yet? He thought as he dashed off to the council room. Council room. The council was just finished discussing about Yuki no Kuni when they heard a knock on the door. The door opened and revealed the Storm commander with a grim expression. Yuzukage-sama, please excuse my intrusion, but my men have found 3 Konoha ANBU root members lurking around our border. They are now being held at the interrogation chamber. Needless to say, there were a lot of loud murmurings among the council members. This council meeting is dismissed. Keed, order all your men to scatter around the island and check for other unwanted visitors. If there are any, quickly disable them and prevent a long battle. Bring them to the interrogation chambers immediately. Also notify all the Jonins. I'm putting the village under alert level 1. The Storm Commander nodded and proceeded to the HQ to notify all Storm. The Yuzukage hurried to the interrogation chambers while the rest of the council went off to their own compounds to inform their clansmen of the current situation. Yuzukage Mansion, private beach and training grounds. Meanwhile, Naruto was currently alone, staring at the sea. His siblings watched him sadly from a distance. They tried to convince him go out with them to hang out and have a sibling bonding, but he refused to go outside the mansion in fear of the villagers hating him for transforming into QB 2 days ago. Good morning, guys. How are you doing? Oh. Good morning, Konan-chan. The four replied as they turned to see Konan, Yahiko, and Nagato smiling and waving at them. How's Naruto-kun? I haven't seen him out for days. Konan asked worriedly. He's there. He refuses to go outside as he is worried about the villagers. We already told him not to because the villagers did not hold a grudge against him for transforming into QB. We told him that we all understood what happened to him and what caused him to rampage. But he is still skeptical. Narumi replied sadly. I see. Mind if we talk to him? We wanted to bond with him and teach him a few things before we leave for our mission to Amigakure. Also, I have something in mind that might cheer him up and forget about the incident. Yeah, sure. Thanks. We'll be back inside the mansion. See you guys later. The four trudged back to the mansion while the three Akatsuki leaders remained. Konan raised her arms and about 30 square papers floated from her body. The papers then took different forms. There were paper butterflies, cranes, and pegasi. She sent them flying to the boy and followed, with Yahiko and Nagato walking behind her. Naruto was interrupted from his thoughts when he saw a butterfly flutter around his face and land on his nose. He watched it cautiously and with curiosity, and realized it was made of paper. He heard more flapping of wings and noticed more paper butterflies. He also noticed paper cranes and pegasi. He watched them in fascination and then almost jumped when he heard a voice. Beautiful, aren't they? Naruto turned and saw Konan walking towards him. With her were Nagato and Yahiko. Konan-chan! The boy stood up and greeted the girl. The girl then went to hug him tight in greeting. Hello, Naruto-kun. The blue-haired teen said as she released the boy from her hug. Yo, Naruto! How are you doing? Yahiko cheerfully greeted. Hello, Naruto. Nagato said while smiling. Yahiko-san. Nagato Itoko. Cousin, I'm fine. The three noticed the boy's expression, and Konan decided to cheer him up. She willed her paper creatures to fly around and land on the boy. Wow! These are beautiful. Konan-chan, did you make these? Yes, Naruto-kun. They are called origami. It is an art of folding papers and forming them into various shapes or forms. Amazing! Naruto squealed. Can you teach me? He pouted, doing the puppy eyes jutsu. The girl's heart melted at the boy. Of course, Naruto-kun. I was actually planning on teaching it to you. Wow! Really? Konan just smiled at him warmly and nodded. Can you also do foxes? I like foxes. The boy grinned sheepishly while a certain nine-tailed fox smiled at his statement. Yes. I can make most any form. Cool. The four spent the rest of the morning talking about random topics while at the same time, Naruto was taught origami by Konan. Inside the mansion, the Uzumaki Namikaze siblings were relaxing in the living room, talking to each other. They stopped when an elite jonin came inside, kneeling in front of them. Narumi-sama, Minako-sama, Mio-sama, Miho-sama. The village has been put under alert level 1. The Yuzukage has ordered you four to stay inside the mansion and guard Naruto-sama. The four's eyes widened in surprise. Narumi was the first one to recover, and inquired the jonin. What happened? 3 Konoha A and B were found lurking around our borders. They are now being held at the interrogation chambers. The Yuzukage has ordered all Storm to scatter around the island and look for other stragglers. All of the jonins are roaming the village. I see. That's troubling news. We will stay here inside and watch over our little brother. Thank you. The jonin nodded and left. Naruto's siblings hurriedly went outside to the beach. They found their little brother busy folding papers when they approached him. They realized Konan was teaching him the art of origami. Nagato heard footsteps and turned to see the four. He immediately noticed their grim expressions and lightly tugged on Yahiko's sleeves to call his attention. Yahiko looked at his best friend and saw him silently pointing his head to the four. They silently walked away from Konan and Naruto to talk to his siblings. What is it? Nagato whispered. The village has been put under alert level 1. 3 Konoha A and B were found lurking near our border. The Yuzukage has asked us to watch over Naruto-kun. Narumi replied. I suggest we all go inside the mansion and take Naruto-kun to his room. He will be safer there. This might be a private area, but someone might still see him here. Minako said. Agreed. I'll inform Konan of the situation. You guys distract Naruto for now and get him inside. Nagato said. They all nodded and approached the two. Hello, Naruto-kun. What are you doing? Narumi asked while Nagato discreetly pulled Konan away and informed her of the situation. Narumi ne-chan. Konan-chan has taught me origami. Look, I made a fox, her little brother said as he proudly showed her his work of art. That's beautiful, Naruto-kun. Maybe you could teach us also? Okay, Naruto-kun, it's almost noon. It's getting hot. Why don't we go back inside the mansion? Minako suggested. Yeah? I'm also hungry. Let's have some lunch and you can continue your origami later. Ne-chan, I want Ichiraku's ramen. But I don't want to go outside. It is okay, Naruto-kun. We will order the ramen for you. Miho offered while Mio nodded in agreement. The 8 of them went back to the mansion while Konan made the papers fly so they wouldn't have to carry them. Naruto requested they have lunch inside his room and his siblings felt thankful inside. It was just what they wanted for their little brother. Narumi and Minako made several clones and stationed them outside Naruto's room while Miho and Mio went to Ichiraku's. Naruto went back to making more paper foxes while he waited for his siblings to return with the ramen.